A string of manipulative killers craft flawless murder plots, convinced no one will catch on. Each plan looks airtight until detectives start connecting the dots and everything unravels.
I didn't see that, but Nick said he did. And he mentioned killing him to end that. And I said, that's crazy, that's stupid, what's you saying? I really loved him like a father.
This is Jackie Edison, wife of Nick Shaughnessy, who finds herself at the center of a murder investigation. As she's brought into custody by the detectives, the truth behind a horrific death begins to unfold. It all started with a 911 call from her mother-in-law, Corey, on March 2nd, 2018, reporting the death of her dear husband.
Does it sound like your husband?
I don't know.
Okay, do you think you possibly shot your husband?
I don't know. What's
Corey, take a deep breath. You're doing a great job, okay? The police are on their way.
The detectives were stunned to find multiple suspects and dark secrets that set the stage for a complex investigation.
Has he ever directly asked you to kill his parents?
Yes. I don't understand how could you kill somebody and not have any emotion about it? And you actually killed him. I was just in the situation. I'm devastated. I cannot sleep at night. What is that?
Was Jackie an innocent person or the true mastermind behind this horrific crime? As the detectives dive in deeper, the Shaughnessy couple reveal itself to be a case of escapade and extortion. As the detectives press on, a web of dark secrets starts to unravel. The golden couple of Austin, Texas, Ted Shaughnessy and Corey Shaughnessy, were known as owners of Gallery Jewelers, where every couple bought engagement rings and ornaments to celebrate their joy and togetherness. But tragedy struck when Ted's own life was put to the ultimate test. When the Travis County Sheriff's detectives, Paul Sallow and James Moore, entered a scattered home that resembled a war field, they had a serious impression of robbery, but there were no signs of theft. And to add on to the absurd setting, there were no enemies to blame. But there were many unanswered questions, like who had leverage on Ted's death. However, just as the investigation started, their assumptions faded when they found something gruesome beyond their imagination. On March 2nd, 2018, 55-year-old Ted Shaughnessy's lifeless body was found shot dead in a pool of blood near the kitchen table. A window was left wide open at the side of the house and the floors were painted with blood. Springfield .40 and .380 caliber bullets were sprinkled all over, indicating that there were two intruders who had caused the carnage. March 1st, 2018 was a random day of rush and routine for the Shaughnessy couple until they heard a violent shootout by the window that terrorized them. When one of the shooters advanced to their bedroom, Corey had immediately reached out to 911, hiding from the closet. Ted and one of their Rottweilers, Bart, was found dead, giving in to the horrible cries of Corey.
Is it just you and your husband in the house?
I gotta go out there.
No.
When the detectives investigated the crime scene, they found it odd that the killer navigated the place as if it was familiar, which raised suspicions. This led the detectives to suspect people who knew Ted and Corey well or have been in the house. Corey Shaughnessy, co-founder and wife of the gallery store owner Ted Shaughnessy, was drawn to the center of investigation.
I didn't hear anything until the dog started barking. I was gonna die. I really did. Will you be able to tell if I shot somebody?
Yeah, I mean, that's something that we may be able to learn.
Corey had raised her own red flags by being the only beneficiary to all Ted's money and $1 million life insurance. When they did not find anything to testify against her, she was eliminated from the suspect list. Ted's adopted son, Nick Shaughnessy, was 10 miles away from the crime scene. He had driven himself to the location along with his wife, Jackie Edison. Upon inquiry, Nick suggested a few suspects who could be involved, and the detectives were firm to get to the bottom of the crime and dig out the truth. The detectives went on a frantic search of Nick's home, though the CCTV cameras at his home confirmed his alibi of being away from the crime. It also provided them the answers for all the questions behind his father's mysterious death. The recently deleted texts of conspiracy and concealed plans by him were discovered by the detectives through Nick's Minimac. What was even more shocking was they had found the same bullets that were used to kill Ted at his home. This information incentivized the detectives to take a closer look at the case, which led to opening new doors leading to multiple suspects. From the beginning, detectives had their suspicions towards Nick for a number of reasons. Nick's over-the-top casual behavior, his eagerness to provide an alibi, and his overt interest to contribute in the investigation made them question his authenticity. Jackie, on the other hand, had some red flags too. Her sudden withdrawal of $1,000 just days before Ted's death brought the couple's alleged involvement with the crime into the limelight.
Something that might be able to help you out if you want to rule her and I, my home security system alarm it every night. I have cameras that show my entry and exit that I can view via my phone, if that helps.
The detectives then invited Spencer, Nick's best friend, for questioning, and in the interrogation, he revealed a few facts that confirmed the suspicions of the detectives.
He said, after my parents go, I would have $8 million. Has he ever directly asked you to kill his parents? Yeah.
After Spencer spilled the truth in the interrogation room, the detectives also found CCTV footage that had intimidating evidence against Nick. Step by step, detectives were getting closer to the truth that Nick had been desperately trying to keep. Nick's interaction with Johnny Leon and Cameron Vosbeck of Renewal by Anderson, a window company, led to the ouster of murder. He thought that he had orchestrated the perfect crime, unaware that he was walking straight into his own trap. When the detectives arrived at Cameron's house for inquiry, a surprise twist cleared Cameron's name from the crime. His wife had stated that a mysterious man named Johnny Leon had come with an offer of money to commit the murder of a jewelry store owner, but her husband turned down the deal, eliminating him from the suspects list. Upon further investigation, it was found that Nick and Johnny Leon had joined hands with Arian Smith to execute this crime.
I'm not gonna lie to you. If Shaw offers you $100K, you're gonna think about it. He's luring you into this to commit murder. I'm just telling you, we know you're involved in this. We know what happened. We know I'm involved. Absolutely. There's no doubt.
Then I hear some shots come from the bedroom as well. And I heard a woman crying. And I said, please don't do it. Please, let's just go. Please, leave her alone. Let's go. Please, just let's go. So after I say that, he takes off running and I follow him.
Nick orchestrated the entire murder and used these two people to gain a lump sum of $8 million. Ted was a positive influence on his family and had been a strong support system for the family's independence. Never did he imagine that he adopted a killer who plotted one of the wildest murders for him. And this is the moment where the trust of the mother was broken by her son. She was oblivious to the fact that the very people she trusted were the ones who were involved in the death of her husband.
What a chilling thought. Two people who tried to have you killed, and they're living in your home.
Very. It's very chilling. I bought all the groceries. I paid all the bills. I bought her clothing.
This is diabolical.
Absolutely. They thought they had gotten away with it.
Do you prefer Jackie or Jacqueline? Or Jackie?
When Jackie was arrested and brought under custody, she gave out the reason behind their evil actions.
Do you prefer Jackie or Jacqueline? Or Jackie?
Shortly after we got married, he asked me if I would stay with him if he ever murdered someone. I didn't see that, but Nick said he did. And he mentioned killing him to end that. And I said, that's crazy, that's stupid, what's you saying? This isn't you. You love your parents. Like, we visit them every weekend, we have fun, we're family. I've always wanted what I had with them. I didn't think Nick really had it in him to even think about it. And that's why I never took it as seriously as I should have.
So other than his dad, him thinking that his dad was miserable, what other reason would he have to do?
He knew that they had a $1 million life insurance policy each, but he told me it wasn't about the money.
So Nick, let's hire somebody to kill his parents.
Yeah. I was like, well, I mean, we can't even afford to pay half. And I said, well, okay, maybe they'll do it for 10. I wanted to shut him up. I was playing his game. I never took it seriously. No, I went with him. You know, he wanted me to go with him, and I was like, yeah, sure, whatever. I know he's not going to do it. And if he is going to do something crazy, then I'll be there to make sure he doesn't do it. I tried to stop him. I think his mom gave him $30,000.
The detective's concern about Nick escalated when Jackie shared details about a heated financial dispute between him and his mother. The interrogation was uncovering hints of a chilling scheme, with Nick at the very center of it.
There was a period where my mother and I, there was a financial dispute, and it was like, we figured it out, talked, sat down, did everything out, figured it out.
Jackie was provided with a reduced term of punishment, while Nick and his partners were found to be the main culprits. When the detectives finally visited Nick in prison, he confirmed his participation in the homicide of Ted Shaughnessy. He said that he and Jackie had figured different viewpoints to frustrate their attempts, and he was highly manipulated by Jackie to make a dreadful decision.
I'm not going to sit here and say that I didn't do this. I'm not going to play a victim card. I most certainly played my role, and I wholeheartedly regret it.
Did you hire people to go kill your parents?
Yes, Jackie and I participated in multiple aspects to
Never mind
kill
participated in multiple aspects. Did you pay these two men to go kill your parents?
Yes.
Jackie Edison was given a sentence that was reduced by 120 days and a decade-long probation for her intimidating tactics that instigated the murder.
Nick got 35 years, the hitman got the same, you got 120 days. Are you getting away with murder?
No. I think that it's fair. I think it accurately reflects the level of involvement.
All the substantial evidence that stood against Nick Shaughnessy, along with the two hitmen, were verified, and they were sentenced to life in prison for a period of 35 years.
It is so hard to understand that money could make you decide to do such a thing. Sadness has consumed our family and always will. The anger, however, has taken over and may never subside due to your selfish decision.
In the end, the victim's family condemned that the pursuit of wealth and selfish desires had been a motivating factor behind the unimaginable crime. Right up until the end, Nick and Jackie maintained their own side of the story until justice was served.
I know that I'm here because of those actions.
Nick, at the end of the day, are you sorry for what you did, or are you sorry that you got caught?
I'm most truly, passionately sorry for what I did. It was a very toxic relationship.
Were you at all thinking, what am I doing?
Of course. It was always in the back of my head, like red flags, like stop, don't
go. The back of your head?
Yeah.
Why not the front of your head?
I guess the validation or approval from Jackie.
What Corey and Nick have both told us is that you were a partner in this murder plot.
Yeah, I think Nick is saying whatever he has to say to kind of clear his name. And Corey is very much in denial about what really happened.
You weren't in on this plot and
not in it, no.
Didn't get money out to pay the hitman.
No, ma'am.
The Shaughnessy family name of wealth and luxury was marred by devastating consequences. An insincere reconciliation of the family brought an end to its happiness. Nick apologized for his role in the secret killing of his father, but his regret came too late. The once renowned Shaughnessy name was now tarnished by their own destructive actions.
I wish I could tell my mom how truly sorry I am, that this is not something I'm proud of, and I failed her as a son.
It means nothing to me. In my mind, I am supposed to be dead. And so I'm a ghost, and ghosts can't speak.
Do you still love your son?
I love the person I knew to be my son before this happened.
You love that 8-year-old boy racing cars with his dad?
Yes. Nicholas and Jackie destroyed my entire world. They took my husband. They took memories. They took my business. They took everything I had that I cared about.
Was it Nick's toxic relationship or his inherent personality that contributed to his delinquent behavior? 35 years of imprisonment for Nick, whereas the only one who was truly responsible gets 120 days. Was it democratic sentencing? Who do you think is more responsible for Corey's loss?
Reliable pharmacy emergency. People down. 5900 Chopin. Hurry. And one of them crooks got away. I got one. He's dead.
This is 57-year-old Jerome Ersland, an ex-veteran and part-time pharmacist, reporting that his pharmacy is under attack by armed burglars. His voice might have been shaking in the 911 call, but the truth is that in an act of bravery, he'd confronted the burglars himself.
All of a sudden, they're shooting, and I see all of this happening at once, and I fell back. They continued to fire, and then I started firing, and I took the one on the left, and I shot him.
But the CCTV footage collected from the pharmacy showed something else. This is just the beginning. Jerome keeps fabricating his story, which continues to showcase him as a victim of a burglary that went wrong.
How many times do you think you shoot at this guy that goes down?
Probably 5.
Okay.
But he kept staying up.
Okay.
And I was afraid he was going to get the girls.
However, soon Jerome will make a grave mistake that not only undermines his victimized image, but also calls into question his own sense of morality.
And then how many times do you think they shot at you? You said
2. 2, I think.
Each shot 2 or just 2 total?
I think 2 total.
Although Jerome's story sounds like a clear case of self-defense, as the investigation proceeds, the detectives will be shocked to find how manipulative he is. On May 19, 2009, Jerome Ersland, a part-time pharmacist and former U.S. Air Force veteran, was working at Reliable Pharmacy on 5900 South Pennsylvania Avenue in Oklahoma City. Alongside 2 female colleagues, he was preparing to close for the day when the simple day turned into a nightmare when 2 masked assailants, 16-year-old Antoine Parker and 18-year-old Javonte Ingram, entered the pharmacy just before they were closing.
Oklahoma City 911.
We're being robbed.
Okay, can you see what the guy looks like?
He's in a red shirt. He's got a mask over his face.
Okay, stay on the phone with me. Is he still inside your store?
Yes. Gunshots.
Did he shoot inside your store?
Yes.
Anyone hurt?
I don't know. There's gunshots going on.
Okay, ma'am, just stay silent.
Later, detectives brought Jerome into the interrogation room, but they would hear from Jerome is a sliver of truth, sugar-coated with lies.
I'm Detective Jacobson.
My name's Jerome Ersland.
Ersland? Okay.
Yes, sir. Do you need my IDs or anything?
Yeah, if you have that, I'll just
Sure.
write it off that. I know they were going to get them off the counter for you. I was
Yeah,
hoping
they did.
Okay.
There's my concealed weapon one. Here's
Okay.
my military one. And, of course, I got more.
This will work.
I figured it would.
I think somebody else has probably already got all your information.
I don't know if they did or not.
Oh, okay. What's your address there?
My address is...
What's the phone number?
My number is... Yeah, that's supposed to 8091. Okay. That's it.
Give those back for you.
Okay.
Put them in your pocket there.
Thank you.
Okay.
Kind of a rough day.
Have you been through something like this before?
No, well, I have PTSD from being in the Gulf War.
Okay.
Yeah, I killed a lot of people there.
Okay.
But I had to do it. And then I dream about it every night. Okay. I got hurt there. That's where all this.
Okay.
Jerome started orchestrating lies from the very beginning of his interrogation. He was never sent to the Gulf War, and even though he served in the Army, his so-called nightmares and war injury are a complete lie.
They operated on me 6 weeks ago on my spinal cord, and so that made me where my right leg wasn't paralyzed. But up here on top, I've got this T5 is what its number is, and it got blasted into thirds, and so the 3 pieces of that one vertebra are going around by my heart and my lungs and my spinal cord, and they can't operate. So you can't operate on it. So that's why I wear this.
Okay.
And I wear this other one because I had it operated on a few weeks, 6 weeks ago.
Okay. Okay.
So I have killed a number of people with a 50 caliber.
Okay. So
I was a platoon leader from Fort Bragg.
Oh, okay. Were you in the Army or the?
I was in the Army until I got hurt, and then they were gonna make me get out. But I also had a pharmacy degree, so the Air Force let me get in. And so I finished up in the Air Force because they needed pharmacists so bad they were willing to take me.
Wow.
So that's how I finished up my 20.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you're working as pharmacist here at the
Yes, sir,
store.
part-time.
Okay.
I can't work full-time because I can't stand up that long.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, pretty painful.
Jerome was injured while serving in the Army, but he was never injured in a war. He's already manipulating his backstory to make it look more heroic. Also, Jerome tries to portray himself as a key figure in the military, and that the U.S. Air Force couldn't even afford to let him go. His pride is clear as the sunny sky, but soon he's going to realize that his big claims will take him nowhere.
What time did you start work today? Did you come in the morning?
Yes, sir. I started work. I got there at 20 minutes until 9.
Okay.
I got there 8:40, and then the person with the key came at 8:50, and then we opened the store at 9 o'clock.
Okay. And that's when it usually opens, 9 o'clock?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
It always opens at 9, 6 days a week.
Okay. And then when this happened, it was getting ready to be closing time. Is that
Yes,
right?
sir.
About 6 o'clock.
Here's what happened.
Okay.
It was 10 minutes till 6.
Okay.
And what we do, see, our store has been hit many times with burglaries, and then it had an armed robbery a year ago. But the other pharmacist was on, and then the 3 black men beat them up and stole their wallets and their money and all the narcotics. So since then, we take the narcotics off the shelf and we put it. He got a great big safe, and every night at the same time we move the narcotics and put them in the safe. So if a burglar comes in, because it was bad. They had like 8 burglaries in a year.
Oh, okay.
So, but only 1 armed robbery. And so we lock them up in there, and then that way, when we had a burglar get in and he couldn't find anything, we saw him on a picture and then on a video cam, and he was looking for stuff and he couldn't find anything. But anyway,
it's all locked up, huh?
Yeah, what was happening was we were getting ready to lock up, and I had some narcotics in my hand, and then the girls were Jean, the older lady, and the other one is named Megan, and that's her daughter.
Okay. And is this you 3?
Yeah, just us 3. So, we weren't real secure. So, all of a sudden, it was like an unreal thing. I had this, and I was behind the counter, and all of a sudden, I saw these 2 black guys with gray masks, and it was like, I don't believe that. And then they had guns, and it was like unbelievable. They said, excuse the language, but
It's
anyway, I'm sure you heard it before, but the ladies were right by the register and they said, I want all your money and all your drugs. And so I had told them if anything like that ever happened to go into the back and I would take care of it. And so they went to the back, but then the guys got real mad because they didn't get it and they started shooting. And so they shot and I backed up and I hit my back where it would hurt it more, and then I got grazed right here, but it's cleaned up now. Police cleaned it up and bandaged it, and so they got 2 shots off at me.
Jerome just created a whole movie scene with his statement, but just like an action film, it's completely fake. First of all, only one of the attackers was armed, and secondly, to make his lie even worse, they never even fired the gun. Even if it can't be factually admitted, Jerome really looks like a delusional person living in his own fantasy.
And I reached in my drawer and I grabbed out my Kel-Tec, and I grabbed my Kel-Tec out of my pocket, and then I grabbed my judge out of the where I keep it. And I had the judge with 1 shotgun shell, 1 .45 long coat, 1 shotgun shell, like that. And so then they said, he's got a gun. And so they continued to fire, and then I started firing, and I took the one on the left and I shot him, and then the other guy ran out of the store, and this one I ran by him, and he was still up there, and he was gonna hit me as I went by. So of course I would have been a goner because with all this, and so I had the Kel-Tec, so I just unloaded it on him, and then he fell down, and then I chased the other guy out, and all I had left was I had the judge, but it only had, I think, 3 shots left, because I think I shot the other guy with it too, because he was the closest to me. But I ran around the corner, and then we got around to the corner of the store, and there was another black guy, and he was in a Oldsmobile, a white Oldsmobile, and the left rear hubcap was missing. And he had on a green hooded like a running suit. He had on a green hooded thing, and he had his shotgun, and he started to pull it up, and I pointed this at his head, and he got down, and that other guy was running over there to get in, and that guy says, I'm getting the out of here. And so that guy continued to run, and then I went ahead and unloaded on him as he took off.
Jerome says he fired his gun because Antoine tried to move, but the CCTV tells a different story. Antoine wasn't moving at all, and if Jerome was really hurt like he claims, how did he move so fast to grab another gun and chase the second guy?
The clothes that the guy that ran off, and unfortunately he got away, was he had on solid red jogging pants. He had on running shoes. He had on a white shirt, and he had on a gray large mask that covered his entire face. And then he had a revolver. And of course the guy that I nailed, well, he was oddly dressed pretty much the same, but instead of solid red, he had red with spot colors on him. And then he also had on a white top. And the odd thing is the masks were made by the same person, because they were both gray and they both covered the entire head. So I don't know what they look like. And the guy that was waiting to pick him up with the money and the narcotics that was parked over there, and the one that took off, I don't know what he looked like because he ducked down when he saw that I had the bead on him, and he didn't have a chance. I saw the shotgun. It looked to be a 12, and he was pulling it up, and it looked to be a short one, like a Mossberg 500 or a Maverick. And as he was pulling it up, and I pulled down on him, and then he got away. But I can't tell you what he looked like, because he ducked down because he thought I was gonna get him, but I wasn't scared he was gonna get it up in time, and so that other guy, I wanted to get him before he hurt anybody else. The one that run away, and I used my last shot when he jumped over a hedge, but unfortunately my last shot was a shotgun out of the judge, and so it wouldn't go that far. So he probably has pepper, a 4-shot. He probably has little pepper shots on him, and it's all
the back as he's running.
Yeah, it was his back.
This is a turning point in the case, a piece of evidence that shakes Jerome's entire story. He says he used his last bullet on Ingram, who was already running away, but what happened next is hard to believe. Jerome came back, grabbed another gun, stood over unconscious Antoine, and fired 5 more shots in cold blood.
Then the guy in the car, where was he at? On the corner right there, 50?
Yes, sir. He was at the corner, and he was there with the motor running.
Was he parked?
He was parked, and he had his motor running on the almost to the corner.
Which way was he facing?
He was facing
towards Penn.
He was Penn. He took a ride on Penn. At real fast, he took a ride.
Turn north on Penn.
Yeah,
is that right?
Yes, north. And he ducked down, and he wasn't even looking. You know, the cars screeched around because he wasn't looking, you know.
Okay. And he's sitting in the driver's seat, and he's bringing the shotgun up to you?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Because he was parked.
Okay.
That's how he did that.
So it was obvious he was waiting for them to come out.
Yes, sir.
Did one guy ever run over to that car, or he just
Yes,
kept on?
he ran across the grass, and he ran over to the car, but the car, I was back here, and he was running across to get in the car, but the car took off before he got to it. So this guy was up the creek, so he turned from going this way to going that way, because that guy left him behind.
It was a white 4-door car, you think?
It was a white 4-door Oldsmobile model 88, approximately a 1988. It was a junky.
So it was an older car.
Yes, it was a junky old car, approximately 88. It was a large car, and
it was missing the rear hubcap.
Yes, the left rear hubcap.
Was there anything else that stood out about it?
It had a muffler that was kind of loud. It had holes in it, it sounded like.
Was there anybody else in the car that you could tell, or was it just that one guy?
Just the one guy. So it was a 3-person robbery like the other one they had.
Okay. Was it a bright white, or was it
no
kind of a silver maybe? Or?
No, it was dull.
Okay.
It hadn't been washed or anything, and its paint job was bad.
Okay. It was definitely a white?
Yes.
Okay. And then you didn't see that car again?
No, sir.
Okay.
What I did then was I went in and called the 911.
Okay. The guy in the red shirt that's running jumps over the hedge?
Yes.
What's the last place you see him? You just see him running down the street?
Yes, the last place I see him is when he runs over the hedge, and I'm out of ammo, so I run in to call the police to tell him his location, because I couldn't do anything. I can't run because I'm crippled.
Jerome worked at the pharmacy. He knew every inch of that place, including the cameras watching his every move. Still, he claims he was too crippled to give chase, but the footage says otherwise. It shows a 73-year-old man sprinting after the second suspect as if his life depended on it. Once again, Jerome's own words have blown up in his face.
So, but he's running the last thing you
He's
see.
running like the wind.
Okay.
And so I go in and tell him which direction and where he's at and which way he's headed.
Okay. So you call 911?
Immediately, yes, sir.
Okay. Now, when this all starts and they let the guys, you back there in that north part of the pharmacy, or are you up there with the girls?
No, I'm right in the middle of the dispensing area.
Okay.
So the girls are up front by the cash register, and I'm over here right in the middle of the dispensing area.
Okay. The big tall area there.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm right in the middle, and I've got my hands full of one of the narcotic boxes, because we have 5 narcotic boxes, and I had one of them in my hand.
Okay.
And then these guys come in, and then
Did you see him come in?
I didn't see him come in. The first I saw him was when I see these people with gray masks, and they're cursing and they start shooting, and that's the first time I see them. They're already shooting at me. I thought, oh gosh, I can't get to my gun in time, but they missed me.
But are both of them shooting at you?
Yeah.
Both of them have a gun?
Yes, they both shot me, and they shot high.
Okay. Could you tell what kind of guns they had?
Yeah, they looked to be like cheap revolvers.
Okay, both of them
imported. Yeah,
okay.
I would say imported, and I would say they were, from the sound of them, they were 38 or 357s.
Okay. Were they black or silver?
Okay, they were both black.
Both black.
Both black. Yeah.
Okay.
And the people were all 3 black.
Okay.
Jerome says he only realized the suspects had cheap imported guns once they started shooting, but the cameras tell a different story. He keeps spinning his lies, unaware that detectives already have the CCTV footage that catches it all. All that remains is to see how long he can spin his web of lies when the CCTV footages are there, lay the truth bare for everyone to see.
But as soon as they come in, and then you see them, they fire off a couple rounds at you.
Yeah, all of a sudden they're shooting, and I see all of this happening at once, and I fell back against one of the bays and hit my back and hurt it worse.
Okay.
And then by then I had pulled out the Kel-Tec, and then I shot the one guy with it left-handed, and then I got time to get to my good gun. And
where was the guy at that you shot?
He was in by the cash register.
Okay, by the front cash register as you come in. Okay.
He was right by it, and the other guy was in the corner behind the cash register in the corner, and he was going to come around this side and get me, and this guy was going to come around this side.
Okay, so they're both kind of coming around that register there to get in.
They're coming around each way to get me like that, because I'm their only threat. Okay. And I'm the one that they figure's got the narcotics and knows where the money is.
Right.
And so they just figure they'll get me like they do all the other pharmacists in town. They go get the pharmacists and beat them up, and they get their money and the narcotic. And that's what they were planning to do, I'm sure. Okay. I'm positive.
That sounds like it. Yeah.
Yeah, because they both come around there.
And you get that guy, and he goes down.
He went down.
And then the guy that's in the red shirt's coming around the other way.
Right.
What happens? You fire some rounds
fire
at
him, and then he gets scared and runs out.
Okay. Does he have to push the button to get out, or is the door just open for him?
Well, that is odd. How did he get out? Somehow he just busted out of it.
Is there like maybe a latch there that he can push to get out, or?
I don't know how he got out.
Okay, that's fine.
I don't know how he got out, but he got out immediately.
Okay.
I don't know how he got out. I was worried about the other guy because he was still a danger to me, so that's why I had to get him with the Kel-Tec.
Detectives ask Jerome to recall the story again, knowing that he's weaving layers of lies. They often try to find out whether the suspect is adding additional information or to see if they're making changes to the initial story. As for Jerome, he's repeating his lies, but his recollection of the events are jumbled.
As I was running out.
Okay. Okay. So, but he goes down. How many times do you think you shoot at this guy that goes down?
Probably 5.
Okay.
But he kept staying up.
Okay.
And I was afraid he was going to get the girls. He
Okay,
was staying up. So
because they went around that way back to the back office.
Yeah, they went to they didn't go to the back office. They went to the back, the very back, which is, there's a refrigerator, and they went in the back room.
Okay.
So that's the best place. So nobody went in the boss's office.
The middle office there.
No,
yeah.
that's where they got put before. So they didn't want any part of that office.
Okay. Let me see if this is a partner calling from. Hang on just a second.
Sure.
Hello? Yes.
The detective got a call saying it might take longer to obtain the CCTV footage. When he relays the message to Jerome, there's no shift in his facial expression, but his hand gestures betray him. The tension is reflected in his body language. He must be hiding something from the detective.
About that. They're trying to find
sure.
trying to figure out the video part of it out there. I guess Blake's the one who knows how to do that.
Oh, maybe so.
Okay. Let's see. We were talking about you shot at this guy that went down about 5 times. How many times do you think you shot at this other guy?
4.
4 times in the store?
No, 4. 2 outside.
And then?
No, 3 outside and 1 in the store.
Okay. And that's from, you're using the kill tech on this guy?
Yeah.
And then you're using the judge on
this the guy. One other guy.
Okay, so altogether, how many rounds do you think, just so we can get a count of?
Okay, I shot 6 Celtics and 4 judges.
Okay.
10 shots.
And what caliber is the Celtic?
The Celtic is a 380.
Okay.
And of course the judge is a 410/45 long coat.
So you shot 4 of those, so 10 total. And then how many times do you think they shot at you? You said
2, I think.
Each shot 2 or just 2 total?
I think 2 total.
2 total, okay.
It could be more, I don't know.
You just remember 2 though. Okay, that's fine.
Jerome's enthusiasm in his voice has now dropped down in tone. He's repeating the same words to the detectives, but not as confidently as earlier. Detectives have what they need, so now they are ready to close the interrogation. Whatever Jerome crafted to fool the detectives, it only worked against himself.
Can you just, I guess you really didn't get a good look at the guy in the red shirt, other than he had on a red shirt. Just a solid red shirt?
The one that got away.
Right.
He didn't have on a red shirt at all.
Oh, that's right.
It was a white shirt.
Okay.
And he had on red pants that were solid. The shirt was white solid.
Okay, that's the one you told me about before.
Yeah.
Okay. And then the one in the car had on a green.
He had on a green hooded running top.
Okay, like a sweatshirt kind of.
Yeah, it was a sweatshirt.
Okay, and then once you come back in and call 911, do you go back and get the girls out, bring them out, or how does that?
I went to them. I didn't know they were all right, and so I get them out.
Okay, went to check on them and then bring them.
And
out.
I found out they were all right because I was afraid they were shot.
Right. Okay. And so, because as soon as this starts happening, they run.
See, since these guys were on me, I didn't know where the girls went, and I figured they went to the other office.
Okay.
And I hunted for them, and then I found them back there hiding in the back.
Okay.
They were hiding back there still.
Okay. And you got grazed on your left arm?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Is there anything else you can think of? Or?
Oh, sir, that's all I got. I wish the other guy wouldn't have got away.
I guess really you never see him other than with a mask on, so you don't know really what he looks like. Right?
No, I could tell their ages they were approximately, I would say, 28 from their voices and
let me just stop it.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, and you think it was just those three? You don't think there's anybody else probably involved that you?
I don't think
so.
There could have been somebody laying in the back seat of the car,
okay.
But
no other cars parked around.
I didn't see anybody.
Did you see the guy that was running down the road? Did you see him get picked up later on? Okay, because you're
no, but I went right back in because I wanted to see if the girls were all right.
Okay, I understand.
I went right back in.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. You never saw the white car again?
No.
Okay.
It went off north on Pennsylvania.
Okay. And these guys you didn't recognize from maybe of coming in earlier that day or anything, so like casing it out or anything? Okay.
No. We have people that walk back and forth sometimes, and I think they're casing the joint. And whoever it was, well, the guys, I believe they had cased the joint because they knew when to hit us. When our money was out, our money was all out and the narcotics were all out. So whoever, those guys, they knew what time we did everything.
Okay, so they had a pretty good idea of what was going on.
They had good intel.
Okay. Okay. Let me go call my partner out there and see if we're about done out there. See if there's anything he wants to ask.
Apparently, Jerome weaved his story with twisted lies and a sprinkle of truth wherever required. While some people, especially those who see him as an ex-veteran, argue that his actions were justified, others firmly believe he crossed a line. The district attorney and judge faced immense backlash for their verdict, but the public's response was divided. Many couldn't shake the feeling that Jerome's actions were far from justifiable. The debate rages on, leaving no clear winner till today.
Defendant is guilty of the crime of murder in the first degree, and punishment is set at imprisonment for life. Signed, Barbara Mitchell.
July 11th, 2009, Jerome Ersland was convicted by a jury. He was found guilty of first-degree murder in the state of Oklahoma and was sentenced to life in prison.
He thought he was defending his life and the life of his co-employees.
His attorney argued and repealed his client. Besides, Jerome also claimed that it was an unfair trial and was looking forward to the governor stepping in over a phone call from jail.
The trial, there were 80 decisions made whether to overrule or not, and we lost 78 out of 80. And also my legal team is filing an appeal, but they can't file it until after July the 11th when the judge sentences me formally.
In November of 2014, Jerome was given the opportunity to apply for a chance to receive a lesser sentence.
By that statement, do you indicate to us that you don't feel that you were guilty of murder in the first degree?
No, sir, I wasn't guilty of that.
Okay. He was not guilty of that. Well, you had a jury trial, as we understand, and you were found guilty of that. Why do you think the jury found you guilty of murder in the first degree?
Well, that was because the judge let the prosecution have 18 witnesses, and he only let me use one. And so my whole defense only lasted 30 minutes.
You want to take responsibility for the murder of the victim in this case? Is that what you just said?
I want to be responsible for his death because it was my fault that he died.
Well, that's pretty clear about it, but you indicated to us, I thought, I don't want to put words in your mouth, that you did not feel that you were guilty of murder in the first degree, and your explanation, I thought I heard, was that you were not allowed to present witnesses. Did I hear that wrong?
No, sir, you were correct.
So, what are you guilty of?
Well, that would be for you to decide, sir.
No, that actually has already been decided, hasn't it, Mr. Ersland?
The what?
That has already been decided. We are not here. Do you think that we're here to retry that case?
No, sir, not at all. You're here to see if I would be a good risk to put back with society.
So you're not guilty of the murder. What are you guilty of?
I was guilty of killing an armed robber with a ski mask.
Well, that's not necessarily by definition a crime. So I'm trying to understand what it is that, as a matter of law, that you would be guilty of. Because that sounds like self-defense. Somebody comes in and it has a gun and robs you. That's self-defense, and that's not a crime. So I'm trying to figure out what it is that you are telling us that you're guilty of.
Unfortunately, jurors were not convinced by Jerome's statement, and he lost the appeal to a 3-2 vote. The case of ex-veteran Jerome Ersland highlights the silver lining between distorted truth and factual data. While Jerome's initial actions seemed justified, video evidence contradicted his claims, leading to his conviction of first-degree murder. Considering his physical and mental condition due to old age, should the jurors be more lenient? Or do you think the verdict is justified?
County 911.
Hi, good afternoon, ma'am. I'm here driving by Jeffries Road. I believe I found there's a dead body there.
Webb County 911. Hey, I'm on Highway 255 and 183, and I've got a female in the grass laying. And I don't know if she's unconscious, but she is breathing right now. But there is blood all over the grass, okay? She's still breathing. She's breathing, but they're...
Yeah, she's breathing, but she's got blood all over the grass over here. So y'all better send a paramedic and the police first.
In a span of just 10 days, 2 harrowing 911 calls sent shockwaves through the community of Laredo, Texas. On September 3rd and September 13th, 2018, authorities were alerted by the death of 29-year-old Melissa Ramirez and the brutal injury of 42-year-old Claudine Luera. Both victims were adult entertainers and were shot in a similar fashion, making their tragic fates bear a chilling resemblance. However, the journey to catch the killer would take a turn no one saw coming.
Sí, me vine corriendo, me sacó la pistola y me quería subir y me empecé a gritar. Help me. Good
so you know who he is?
His name is David.
You only know him as David, or?
Yeah.
This is Erica Pena, 26 years old and incredibly fortunate to have survived what could have been a gruesome death. Her luck turned when she crossed paths with an officer, and as she shared her horrifying experience, it became clear this was the lead they'd been chasing. The officers knew instantly that the killer they'd been hunting was within reach.
What's your name, bro? You already know. Huh? You already know. What's your name? You already know. All right, let me see your face. What's your name? Look at the picture. It's Simon. What's your name? Huh? What's your name? Take your shoes off. Hey. Hey, pick him up. Pick him up. Get him up. Get him up. Let's go. Put him next to me. Sit him right here, please. Let me see your face.
The arrest of 35-year-old David Juan Ortiz marked a significant breakthrough, but moments before his arrest, the police received another 911 call.
There's a body. I didn't stop because I have my baby with me, but there's a person laying on the ground right underneath the bridge. It might have been one of those homeless people, maybe, under shelter, just due to the rain. You didn't see a move or anything. I didn't see him move. Like I said, I had my baby with me, so I didn't want to risk stopping. And but he didn't. He was in an awkward position. Also, he wasn't under the bridge. He was on the actual road.
Tragically, another victim was found lifeless, identified as 35-year-old Griselda Alicia Hernandez Cantu. All this seemed worse than could be imagined. However, it was just the beginning of a chilling incident filled with unexpected twists. To understand the gravity of what unfolded, let's take a step back to where it all started. On September 3rd, 2018, Melissa, a mother of two, was discovered lifeless and abandoned on a rural country road in Webb County, Texas. Just 10 days later, Claudine Luera, mother of 5, and Melissa's friend and fellow lady of the night, was found barely alive but succumbed to her injuries hours later. The two women shared more than friendship. They unknowingly shared a tragic fate. Their killer was none other than a regular and trusted client, Juan David Ortiz. The story took a dramatic turn on September 14, 2018, when Erica Peña, a co-worker of both victims, became the next target. When she confronted Juan about Melissa and Claudine's disappearances, the predator revealed his true nature, threatening her with a gun. Seizing a fleeting moment, Erica fled to a nearby gas station, where she found a trooper and revealed everything she knew.
¿So cuando te bajaste de la troca gritaste?
Sí, sir.
Okay. ¿Y no te acuerdas?
Hay una Dodge blanca, vive por aquí.
¿Sabes dónde vive?
Sí, sí. Si me llevo ahorita más o menos sí puedo dar, sir.
¿Y por qué te subiste con él? ¿No? Porque ibas a ir a...
¿Por qué? Porque me dijo que si quería unos cigarros.
Ajá.
Y yo le dije que sí, y él nomás me dijo, ven a dar la vuelta conmigo un rato y te llevo.
¿Esa Dodge Ram que está aquí no es esa?
A ver, sí.
¿Esa no es?
Yo traía una pistola, nomás que...
Are you sure he's not maybe standing around? Maybe a lo mejor da la vuelta.
Una troca blanca, sí.
So you knew this guy before?
Yes, mire, el vato anda en la Zambia.
Ajá.
Y varias veces me ha levantado.
Ajá.
¿Verdad? Y me ha dado es que yo no lo había visto.
Okay.
Una troca blanca. Yo no lo había visto y hace ratito lo vi.
Okay.
Y él me dijo, ¿quieres unos cigarros y una piel? Acompáñame a dar la vuelta. Pero él empezó a manejar para acá y me dio miedo. Yo le dije que yo no vengo hasta acá. So, he knew that I wanted to get off. Y él me dice, déjame llevarte aquí para comprar tu lunch, te llevo para atrás y te dejo. And dice, déjame comprar tu lunch y luego te llevo para atrás. Dice, chisquioso.
The police launched a frantic search, tracking Juan's truck, while Erica provided critical guidance to lead them to his house. When they arrived at his house, Juan wasn't there, but to their shock, they discovered several weapons he'd hidden there. When they found his truck and confronted him, his unexpected reaction left them stunned.
Stop right there! Stop! 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 Is this your truck? Is this your truck? Okay, all right. Turn around. Turn around.
Get on your knees.
Turn around. I'll explain to you right now. Turn around. Okay, I'm gonna explain to you. Okay, Bradshaw, I'm gonna do the talking. All right, sir, we got a positive ID with this truck right here is matching with the potential, with the murders that's been happening within the past 2 weeks. We wanna do an interview. We wanna do some questioning. We just need for you to cooperate with us, okay? All right, fine. Make my way. Just turn around and make my way this way, okay? Turn around. Just turn around. Turn around, please. Turn around. Hey! No, bro. He went inside here. He's in here. He's in here, bro. He's in here. We don't know.
David Ortiz, come out! State police!
What's up?
Check that door to your right. Hey, I need one of y'all at that fence. One of y'all got to stay at the fence, guys.
David Ortiz, come out!
Go down, talk to the person in front, ask him how we can get to the bottom of this damn ramp.
Let's talk from the
I got it. Bro. Got it. hand. One hand.
Is this the subject we're looking at?
Yes, it is. Fold your hand.
Relax.
Relax.
What's your name, bro?
You already know.
Huh?
You already know.
What's your name?
You already know.
When Juan was finally captured and taken into custody, the revelation that unfolded was nothing short of horrifying. Juan David Ortiz, a Navy veteran and 10-year Border Patrol intelligence officer with a wife and 3 children, betrayed all expectations. The man entrusted with safeguarding lives became the one to take them. However, his horrors didn't end there. The chilling revelations that will emerge gradually will shatter everything.
Why are we here?
Yes,
You were in the military también, ¿verdad?
8 years active duty on this.
Were you having any issues with
the
military?
I got a PTSD. They put me on paroxetine, which is Paxil, for anxiety and depression.
Okay.
You guys want to write it down for Paxil for anxiety and depression. They put me on Divoprox for irritability and anger.
Okay.
They put me on Trazodone for sleeping due to nightmares.
Okay.
They put me on gabapentin for migraine headaches. They put me on another one, I don't know the name of it, for that's the high blood pressure. And I was squared away until I started going to the VA and my life was so I have never been arrested in my life. I have never had that. I'm sure you guys are able to America. Going to the VA of my life got me here. They had me on this 12-week program where I had to go talk to a psychologist. I've seen a psychiatrist a bunch of times.
You don't know why you ran?
I went into the restroom at the gas station. Okay. I came out and I saw a trooper. I kept another trooper. And one I had his rifle. Put your hands up. Okay. You know, like, don't move, put your hands up. Put my hands up and I go, sir, you're freaking the fucking crap out of me right now. I don't know what the fuck's going on. Okay. Sir, right now, are you the owner of that truck? Yes. Truck. Don't fucking move! Like, don't move! He's all like, turn around! Like, turn around? And took off running.
By offering the police insight into his mindset and what drove him to commit such atrocities, his emotionless demeanor highlighted a disturbing absence of remorse. But as the investigation unfolds, even more unsettling revelations are yet to come.
When was the last time you shot this?
I don't remember.
Give or take?
Probably the last time I called, which was once a quarter. So I was supposed to call this coming Tuesday, so subtract 3 months from that.
You're very obviously not a bad person. We understand that you go through some stuff that sometimes other people aren't going to understand. And I'm asking you to explain some of the stuff that happened and why you feel like you need to keep referring to us like we should know this and you should know that. I don't know what you're referring to when you say that. But I do know you picked someone up earlier. That I do know.
Wait.
Huh? I don't know where you picked her up, but I know you picked someone up earlier. Into your house. I know you took it to your house. You was able to describe your house, your address, the inside of your house, your backyard, describe you by name. I mean, it'd be kind of hard to say, that's not my truck.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, on the video. Can you explain to us what happened in there? You were there.
Okay.
And you were there with somebody you knew. Somebody you did it before, somebody you talked to before, somebody who knew you by name. Yeah. Say something got out of hand. A little bit of a disagreement in there in your car. And that's why we're here. So can we get to that? What happened with that person in the car?
I don't recall anything.
I'm pretty sure you do. And I'm betting that's why when the troopers, that's why we were looking for you. We were looking for you because what happened to you at the gas station. Take a look at your victims one last time. No? No. Yeah, I guess. Buddy. How many rounds is this on that? You tell me. Fella. You tell me. You're the one who did it. That's what she looked like before. I have no idea if she's never seen it happen like that. Never seen her either, right? You're saying me, Steve. I'm not saying it.
Well, okay.
I don't care. Not this one, right? Not the one that ran away from me today. Not that one.
Not even
The
that
one that
one.
ran out of your truck. The one you were driving around town.
Not even that one.
Yeah. I'm gonna take those, so they're gonna give you some stuff to wear.
Yeah, who's the trooper I smoked, man? The trooper that couldn't keep up with me, dude. Tell him he needs to work out some more, man. Two of them.
Despite the woman's key role in leading the police to Juan, he flatly denied knowing her and even displayed chilling indifference when shown images of his victims. After hours of unsettling calm and Juan mocking the troopers who chased him, he finally decided to confess his crime, revealing a disturbing motive that seemed too odd to be true.
It all started, please take this off. I'm not gonna attack you. Pick her up. Mm-hmm. That's the
Daddy, I'm really bad right now.
Just like lighting something, the drain comes something, maybe I'll start to get down here. I'm really bad right now. Like, okay, let's go strong. So we're going, start cruising.
Some money to get something.
There, $20. Melissa?
Melissa goes in.
That was like roll, like they're in and out making 5 seconds. The mentor sale.
She goes in and comes out.
This is Melissa. He's like,
Hey, dude, wake up, dude.
Get up.
The dude.
It's been a while, but I'm just driving around again.
If I dump her, they're gonna say I did something to her.
No, but then Erica's probably with her. Like, dude. So I get on 35 north and he's driving. And then I'm just driving. I exited at the 18. It's not rest area.
Where the rest area is at? But stop. Can stop.
With my friend Jeffrey. How much did you cut out an assault? Did that go? When it happened, you guys already know their story. Right.
I knew you know, wake up the next day with that.
I did not plan.
I know you wake up and you know what, dude? You know what? I knew that shit might be spring a moment.
That's the truth. That's wrong with them.
Did you pull her onto the truck or shoot her on the seat?
Shut on her own. That shit got there.
Where are we, dude? I come there. An idiot or what, dude?
So, he's on, I think it was pictures. I got in my truck. I busted a U-turn. Jeffrey still know, like a 3-point. I went back onto the big brother. Went back on 83. And I go straight to my house. I go to the way. It's in a shower. And back laid down.
Did anybody see you doing, Roger? He was just you.
You never took your wife's truck and picked up. No, my truck.
Right. So the only time that you picked up these girls, you were in your truck?
Yeah. Erica knows how to listen to that. Like, okay. So she knows something.
Melissa had something on her. Do you remember what she was holding? Holding? Yeah, she had to in her hand. Remember what it was? No. It was a type of food or type of candy. Something like picked up for her. Something she would have.
I bought her, she liked the Mexican, no, it's not Cheetos. What's that one? Taki. She liked the Mexican.
What about M&M?
No. The other one,
Did we know it was coming from the start, or she didn't see it coming?
No. She was in a deep sleep, and then she woke up and she was just nothing off. Yeah.
And that's it.
When she squat down to take a piss, she fell down. And I was paranoid in the morning. The next day, I was like, oh. And I really did get up and shaved everything, went to work. So then I felt bad. But then I told myself, I tried to convince myself, do the pickup. Like, I was told you had 8 kids, but I'm not sure what it was. I was told you had 8 in there. The state has custody of them. And I was just telling myself, do this chick. I'm like, why are you shooting that? Because she has a bunch of kids. The state has them. She's on the street all day, every day.
You should not work with kids.
They get police. There's no reason to feel sorry for her. I mean, that's what I was trying to, to convince myself. And then I just played it cool and I wrote out.
Juan David Ortiz's murder spree didn't end on 2, but 4. On the morning of September 15th, 2018, after Erica managed to escape, she wasn't his last victim. Juan allegedly killed 2 others identified as 35-year-old Griselda Alicia Hernandez Cantu and 28-year-old Janelle Ortiz. The true drive behind his actions remained a mystery. All he ever said after confessing his crime was that he just wanted to clean up the streets.
I'm working on that thing, okay? It's the one in particular, man. It's my kids are sitting on the counter in the kitchen. You got watch right there. It's that one in particular. The kids are sitting on the kitchen counter and my wife's right there. Perfect. Thank you.
It was bitterly ironic that Juan, who showed no regard for the children of the mothers he killed, now begged the detectives for a glimpse of his own family, blind to the voids he'd left in other lives. As the story of Juan David Ortiz comes to light, it leaves us questioning, how could someone so deeply embedded in the system commit such atrocities unnoticed? While he claimed his crimes were the result of psychological and societal influences, how can such reasoning ever explain the brutality of his actions? 4 years later, on November 28, 2022, Juan David Ortiz's trial finally began. Following the 8-day trial, Juan was convicted of capital murder. On December 7, 2022, he was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. After hearing the verdict, the families of the victims finally got the closure they'd been waiting for. They poured out their emotions in heart-wrenching speeches.
I'm Melissa Ramirez's sister-in-law. You took someone's daughter, sister, mother, and friend's life. How could you? She left her kids behind, and now their hearts are broken, knowing they won't be able to see their mom again. I hate you for what you did, and I can never forgive you, nor do I think God will. You deserve to suffer in prison and go to hell. I still mourn for my sister-in-law. Even though it's been 4 years, I feel as if it happened yesterday. My heart is torn apart knowing that I won't be able to see her, but to visit her in the cemetery.
I've carried so much these last few years, Mr. Ortiz. The pain and anger have been the hardest to bear. Today, I am wholeheartedly letting go and letting God handle what my heart cannot. Forgiving is part of healing. Today, Mr. Ortiz, I am choosing to forgive you. Because I know in my heart that Melissa, Claudine, Giselda, and Janelle are resting peacefully in the heavens above.
911, where's your emergency?
Hey, me and my fiance got in a little bit of an argument, and she took the keys to my boat and jumped off the boat, and I just want to make sure she's okay.
You don't see her in the water?
I don't see her in the water. I'll take one for sure. She's not that good of a swimmer. I keep on jumping in the water to see if I can find her, and I can't find her anywhere.
On the night of August 12, 2015, 42-year-old Thomas Prince made this disturbing 911 call to report the disappearance of his 28-year-old fiancée, Crystal Pfeiffer. The next morning, the Port Orange police received another shocking 911 call from a local fisherman who informed them about the gruesome discovery he made that morning: a half-clothed dead body floating in the river. The body is later identified as Crystal's. When the detectives break this horrific news to Thomas, he seems completely devastated.
It is Crystal. I'm sorry, Thomas.
As the last person to see Crystal alive, detectives take Thomas into custody. However, during the interrogation, the detectives come across disturbing pieces of evidence that eventually raise suspicion about whether his concern is genuine, or if he's hiding something crucial that would change the course of the investigation. Let's delve into this gripping case to uncover how the detectives will unravel whether Crystal's death resulted from drowning, or if it was a premeditated murder.
Can you fill us in from the beginning?
So the cruising up the river, and like I said,
Northbound or southbound?
Southbound.
Okay.
We planned on going out to dinner. So we ended up taking a ride up the waterway, and by the time we ended up getting to the boat ended up breaking down right before we got to Dunbar.
Okay.
I finally got it started back up again. I think it was either electrical or connection on the battery and stuff that gave us a problem with it. One more thing, I finally worked with the electrical wires, and then next thing you know, the boat started. We ended up getting something to eat. And then we had a drink, of course. And then on our way back and stuff. At any point, none of us were like intoxicated. We had a buzz on, and wasn't like to a point where we were out of control. Exactly. Yeah, just being okay. As soon as we got on the other side of Dunlop, the boat ended up breaking down again. And then that's it. She started getting frustrated. We started arguing. Next thing you know, she said, "Well, we need some help." And I said, "Babe, I don't know what to do. Why don't we use the cell phone to call somebody?" And I said, "Let's just wait a few minutes and see if we get started. Man, we're already halfway headed back. Let's just keep on going." So everything was all fine and stuff. And then we ended up drinking. We spent a little more time together. And then we tried starting it up, and then it would start up again. We tried messing around with the lights, wouldn't do anything. Next thing you know, that was it. She started flipping out, yelling at me and everything. And I said, "Babe, I don't know what to do." Next thing you know, she jumps off the boat and swims to another boat that's inside the area. And
now this is up in South Daytona when she swims over to the other boat.
Yes, this was in South Daytona. My boat wasn't too far from that other boat. It had to be about, I don't know, maybe about 75 feet. And I said, "Babe, get back in the boat. The boat will start." And then next thing you know, by the time she got over there, the guy was on the boat and stuff, and I believe he was on the boat with a handicapped person and was saying, "I'm going to call the cops," and blah, 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 because we were arguing back and forth. And I said, "Sir, I'm just trying to get the boat started and stuff. I'm trying to get Crystal to come back to the boat. That's it." And then next thing you know, I finally got the boat started. I went closer to the... I'm sorry?
Would you mind putting her on mute?
Yeah. We finally got the boat... Yeah, I'm going to do that right now. I finally got the boat started, and then got maybe about, I don't know, maybe 20 feet to where the guy's boat was. Mm-hmm. Crystal ended up jumping back in the water to swim back to the boat. I mean, like I said, it was like 20 feet away. And okay, next thing you know, that's it. We're on the cruise. We get probably I don't know. I want to say about maybe 500 feet. The next thing you know, the boat dies out again. And I'm like, "You gotta be kidding me." I said, "Babe, I don't know if by this time and stuff." She's so frustrated. She's pissed off. She's like so aggravated. I was like, "Baby, I don't know what to do, honey." I was like, "I'm trying to do everything I could and stuff." The only light we had on the boat was my phone. And I don't even have the flash thing on it. Of course her phone does, but her phone was home. And I said, baby, I don't know what to do and stuff. I'm trying to figure this out and trying to get it started and stuff. And then next thing you know, we're arguing back and forth and stuff. And then we finally end up calming down. We end up kissing. We're making out, blah, blah, blah. And I said, baby, the boat's going to stop. We're not that far from International Speedway. At least if I get there, I can take a cab and go get the truck and do it that way. The next thing you know, and stuff, she decides to just says, I don't want to deal with this no more. And takes my keys and jumps in the friggin' water. And I'm screaming at her. I'm like, baby, are you kidding me? Come back to the water. And she come back to the boat. And she's just yelling and screaming and saying, I'm not coming back. And I said, baby, come back to the boat. I was like, it'll start up. We're almost there. And then that was it.
Hey, backing up a little bit, Paul.
Oh, that's okay.
When you were just north of this guy, you said, when you saw the other boat, he's on your left. So you're going north.
As we were coming through the Dunlawton Bridge and stuff, the boat that...
you already went past Dunlawton, as well.
The boat is way the boat conked out to the point where the drift was still pushing us. So
you guys, once you get the boat running again, you go north of there, past his boat.
Yes.
And this is where she jumped off.
She jumped off the boat the first time.
The second time I'm talking about.
Okay, the second time. This was after we ended up leaving.
She gets back on the boat.
She got back in the boat.
Get the boat running.
I got the boat in idling. I screamed to her. I said, baby, I got the boat going. So she came back. We got the boat going, and we started idling up, headed north.
Right.
And then, so
you're staying along the shoreline for that point.
Exactly.
Like the Daytona shore.
I was still able to see the green and red areas and stuff. So there's certain areas where you can't go because you're bottom out.
You were closer to the Daytona shore side or the Daytona side?
I'll be honest with you, it looked like it was dead center. Because when she jumped off, there was a distance.
As Thomas recounts the details of the evening and mentions the argument he had with Crystal, his account seems quite odd and difficult to believe. It raises suspicion among detectives of why Crystal would put her life at risk over such a trivial dispute. However, while interrogating Thomas, detectives notice inconsistencies that contradict his statements.
Thomas, if you don't mind, can I get a few photos of you just to show that you don't have a bunch of bruises and stuff all over you?
Yeah.
Would you mind taking that shirt off for me?
Yeah, no, not at all.
Actually, might be better on that. Yeah, on that one. This camera is not the best, but it does pretty good. Okay. So there's quite a few scratches on it.
I know, I do tree work. I get scratched up all the time.
These are pretty fresh, but...
Yeah. Well, I mean, I do tree work every day, so...
Sure nothing got physical?
No, like you said, it was verbal and I mean, it got loud and everything, but you didn't get down to that physical point. Like I said, we're smart enough to, we're smart enough to record it. Yeah, exactly. We've been through arguments and stuff like that quite a few times and stuff. It never got down to, never got down to a point where it was physical at all last night. We ended up, I end up yelling. Like I said, the boat was mainly the whole thing that was just frustrating. More her than it was me. I didn't know what to do. So
right. Did you go straight from the house to here, or did you go somewhere else this morning?
No, I got Fred to give me a ride to the South Daytona Police Department.
Okay.
And then I was in communication with Lori and Fred.
Uh-huh.
And they told me that there was a crime scene over by Beachside, so I ran over there.
What kind of crime scene was it, Thomas?
I'm not sure. Fred said that Fred was the one that said that they ended up finding a body and stuff, and I'm like, are you kidding me? And so I ended up getting Fred next day to give me a ride because I was going to take a cab from my house to the South Daytona Police Department, and from there we end up. Instead, I got Fred to give me a ride. So we went to the South Daytona Police Department. And then, like I said, I was in communicating with Fred. He was telling me about the scene that was over on Beachside and stuff. So we ran over there, and the guy couldn't give us any information. And we ended up coming over here.
I hate to break it to you, but it is Crystal. I think you already knew that, though. I mean, if Fred and Lori went there and you're there and it's a crime scene, a body in the river, and
Yeah, but they never gave any kind of identification or anything like that. That's why,
it is Crystal. I'm sorry, Thomas.
She got identified just a little while ago.
Yeah, that's what we had to step out for, is we had to get that. Does she have some tattoos on her, Thomas?
Yeah, I was telling them earlier that she has a tattoo on her stomach with a Exo Man, Ron, and she has some tattoos on the legs.
Thomas?
Yeah.
There's a little more that happened in that book last night than what you're telling me.
I don't know how I can elaborate on anything else, sir.
Well, she has some injuries. Not a couple, but a bunch.
Okay. I mean, the only, like you said, the only thing she might have had on her maybe a couple of scratches from when us doing tree work, but other than that, I mean, what other
injuries than just scratches?
What other kind of injuries?
On the palm.
I'm saying it one more time.
There's other injuries that are different than just some slight scratching on her arm.
I mean, that's the only thing I can think of, scratches that she might have got when we were doing tree work yesterday, from dragging the brush and stuff like that. What other injuries are we talking about?
What else happened on that boat?
Nothing else happened on that boat. We powwowed, we got into arguments and stuff, but that was it. Nothing got physical at all on that boat. Nothing at all. We like I said, we argued. The boat was frustrating the whole time. Other than that, I mean, there was nothing physical happened on that boat. Other than maybe the two of us being engaged and stuff. But other than that, there was no other physical like hitting or nothing like that and stuff. It was just like I said, we just yelled. And when we get to that point where we yell and stuff, there's no turning back and stuff. We end up, that's the reason why she ended up jumping off the boat.
Thomas, I hear you telling me that, Thomas, I do, okay? But it does not add up with the evidence, okay? There is not a couple bruises on her. There is a bunch of bruises on her.
Well, okay. I mean, is it possible maybe she could have got something when she jumped in the water? I don't know.
Water doesn't do that to you.
Okay, I think maybe she might have hit something, but like I said, the only scratches I've known that she had on was from tree work the other day, so from that day.
At the most, current moves at a mile an hour. At most, current moves at a mile an hour.
I was just throwing that out there. I don't know. You're asking me like something I don't know.
I get you, brother. Just listen to me for a second. Okay? When the medical examiner does his report, he's going to tell me exactly what occurred, but whether it was prior to her entering the water, after she entered, all that stuff. Okay, what I'm looking for from you is the entire truth, because the evidence suggests there was an altercation before she went in the water.
Before she went in the water?
Yeah.
What do you mean before she went in the water?
You said she grabbed your keys, jumped in off the boat, and that's the last time you saw her.
Yeah.
The evidence suggests there was an altercation before she grabbed your keys and jumped into the water.
The only other alteration it was us yelling back and forth and screaming and the frustration about the boat and stuff.
It appears that there was a physical altercation.
No. Listen, like I said, there was no...
I'm going to ask you something. I did interviews with a few witnesses this morning along the riverbanks.
Okay.
That's what I've been doing all morning.
Okay.
Quotes from people. She's screaming, frantically yelling, "Help me, help me, help me," repeatedly. Do you remember that? She's screaming that. This is not like a single person telling you this.
When she,
if there are police, you remember.
When she ended up doing
that.
Out.
Okay. Just hear me out for a minute, Tom.
Okay.
You got police out there. Okay. You know that. You got Air One up. You've got police on the riverbanks looking for this woman. You've got people scouring the neighborhoods and talking to witnesses and talking to everybody along the riverbanks. You got people hearing a woman screaming frantically, "Help me, help me, help me, help me." The same thing that the guy who owns the boat heard and drew his attention to your girlfriend swimming up to his name. Okay. She's in complete hysterics. Why would she be screaming, "Help me," if you were that close and you were not doing anything?
I thought maybe she might have been saying it from inside the water or something like that. But when she ended up
when she ended up going by the guy's dinghy and stuff, and we ended up talking and stuff, she ended up swimming back to the boat and stuff. So if this girl really was saying, help me, and stuff, why would she have came back to the boat?
Conversation.
That's crazy. I mean, maybe when she was inside the water swimming over to the thing, but like I said, nothing got physical at all on the boat and stuff. All we did was just argue and yelled about and mainly her about the frustration of the boat. There was nothing else, nothing physical, nothing came down to that point at all.
The detectives confront Thomas, confirming that there was indeed an altercation before Crystal's death. Although Thomas adamantly denies any physical confrontation, the detectives are certain that he's hiding the truth. Due to the mounting evidence, detectives shift their focus from viewing Thomas as a concerned husband to considering him the prime suspect.
This is 911. You have an emergency?
Okay, I'm on a sailboat out off of South Daytona, and a boat just floated by me, and a girl jumped out of it and swam over and called my dinghy, said people been beating on her.
Does she look hurt?
She told me they were beating her in the face and stuff. I don't know. I can't see her. It's dark down there. Well, look, I got a mentally handicapped daughter on board here with me.
Who is this guy to her?
She says it's your boyfriend.
He's not following you, is he?
No, he's just hanging out off the boat here saying, come on, come on.
Okay.
Just hold on. She just jumped in the water. Are you going back to his boat? Nobody's gonna hurt anybody. Okay. Coming back over to the boat because she's afraid he'll hurt my daughter. He said he kept punching her in the head and that he hurt her hand.
However, this was not the only evidence that led the detectives to suspect Thomas in Crystal's death. Other chilling evidence came into the spotlight. Simultaneously, the detectives interrogated Crystal's ex-husband, Ron Pfeiffer, from whom they learned that the boat Thomas was using initially belonged to Ron. When Thomas's 911 call with the dispatcher was played in front of Ron, he noticed that the boat's engine was running during the call, which contradicted Thomas's claim that Crystal had taken the keys and jumped into the water. The detectives are prepared for a challenging confrontation.
Just so that you understand the position we're in, okay, is you had told me that she had no injuries on her when she got on your boat, okay? You were the last person to see her.
Yes.
When she allegedly grabbed your keys and jumped off the boat.
Okay.
And now, once she's found, she looks like she went a couple rounds with Mike Tyson. And you're telling me that nothing physical took place?
There was nothing physical that took place on the boat. I told you before she got on the boat and you changed the story around on me. I said she might have had a couple of scratches on her from doing tree work with me. Other than that and stuff.
What do you mean I changed the story around on?
No, when you ended up saying this stuff, you said when she got on the boat she didn't have no bruises on it. Not bruises to a point. I did say that she did tree work with me and she might have had a couple of scratches on her. In your arm or leg or something like that. Yeah. But not to a physical.
I'll paraphrase.
Okay.
She had no injuries. She had a couple scratches on the arm from tree work.
Okay.
Nothing else but minor scratches from tree work. No other injuries.
That's I mean
Can I see your right hand again?
yeah. Other than maybe a branch hitting her or something like that and stuff when we were doing tree work. But don't listen,
do you see what I see, Tom?
Yeah, no, I see what you see and stuff. I do tree work all the time and stuff. And when I fell down on my side and stuff, I might have landed that on the concrete part of it and stuff. But listen, there was no physical stuff on that boat at all. I mean, we literally were in a state of like argument and stuff, and plus we were drinking and stuff. We never get to that point where it ever gets to a point of hitting. We're luscious when we drink, which is one of the reasons why we enjoy this that we end up doing, but not to.
From what I know so far.
Yes.
Okay. And I guess what I want to say is, and hear me out because I understand you're upset, but if you could just hear me out for a second, okay? I've been doing this a long time. We both have. Many, many years. Going on 13. We've worked a lot of cases like this. The evidence eventually tells us the story. What it doesn't tell us is the emotional or the thought process that was going on during the time the incident took place. So and again, just hear me out. If an incident took place, now is the time to allow us or to afford us the opportunity of knowing exactly what happened before the evidence tells us the story. Because at that point, if we have to come back to you because the evidence tells us things that are contrary to what you're telling us, then we have to come back and talk to you again. And it's not going to be we're already going to know that if that's the case, that you most likely lied to us. So if things aren't exactly how you say they are or have told us how they are, now's the time to tell us what really happened. And that's what I'm trying to get through to you, is that the evidence will tell us. The evidence always does. Evidence never lies. That's just the way it works. And with doing this and what I know so far, I truly believe more happened than what you're telling us. And I'm trying to give you and afford you the opportunity to tell us what occurred, what the thought process was, what the motivation was, or lack of motivation that was occurring during that time frame. If something more happened, now's the time to tell us.
Listen, nothing got physical on that boat at all and stuff, other than that we ended up having and stuff. The only thing that went on and stuff was screaming and yelling and stuff about the stupid boat and me not being a mechanic and stuff like that and stuff. But it didn't go any further than us frustrating with the boat and stuff. I mean, there was no physical, no nothing and stuff.
You think that's why she was screaming, help me, help me? She wanted somebody to fix the boat?
Well, listen, when she jumped inside the water and stuff, swimming over to the guy thing and stuff, I'm assuming that she was saying help me and stuff. But when she was on the boat and stuff, she wasn't doing it like on the boat when we were together.
Well, no, that's what I'm trying to figure out. What's the rationale?
That's what I'm saying. I mean, the only time I could have heard her say help me was when she was swimming over to the guy's dinghy and stuff. But then as soon as I ended up getting the boat going, I said, baby, I said, listen, I got the boat going, come on, baby. And then that was it. She ended up swimming back. There was nothing at a point of like physical at all dealing with the whole situation. All we did was end up yelling at each other. I told you the only physical part that took place when the two of us were either touching each other was just when we were engaging.
So she shouldn't have any injury from that?
No, I mean, she shouldn't. She shouldn't. I mean, we have sex like that all the time and stuff.
Body from that? Is she going to be hurt? Is she going to have cuts? Is she going to have?
We have I explained that we have and stuff, but never to a point where any bruises or black and blues or stuff like that. Like we're not punching each other.
You say put your hands around each other's neck. She gonna have bruises from that?
Smacking each other, grabbing each other tight, stuff like that. Maybe on the arms and stuff, or maybe around the neck and stuff. By your shoulders, or maybe like pulling it down and stuff, because we get to that aggressive point and stuff, but not to the point of hurting one another at all.
Later, forensic reports revealed disturbing findings. There was no water found in Crystal's lungs or stomach, indicating she did not die due to drowning. Additionally, marks around her neck suggested signs of strangulation, pointing to the conclusion that Crystal was already dead before being thrown into the river. Furthermore, Crystal's parents revealed that Thomas had been abusive in his relationship with Crystal. As this tragic case concludes, it urges us to reflect on how societal pressures or personal fears can prevent victims from seeking help or escaping abusive relationships. As Crystal's parents were aware of Thomas's abusive nature, had they taken any action before, they might have saved Crystal's life. Although Thomas also had the option to walk out of this relationship, he chose a darker path that forever altered his life and the lives of everyone involved. On October 27, 2015, Thomas was arrested and was held without bond in Volusia County Branch Jail. On June 9, 2016, after 6 hours of deliberation, the jury found Thomas Prince guilty of first-degree murder. Upon hearing the verdict, Thomas collapsed in the courtroom, which delayed the sentencing that was scheduled for that day. On June 15, 2016, the case finally reached its conclusion. James R. Clayton, the Volusia Circuit judge, sentenced Thomas to life in prison without the possibility of parole. The sentencing brought a sense of relief to the grieving family.
He has a gun. I'm scared that he's got a gun in his pocket.
He is not stopping.
He is not stopping. I've told him over. Stop! Stop!
The woman, screaming loud enough to bust open the eardrums, is 42-year-old police officer Betty Jo Shelby. She's performing her best to explain why she killed 40-year-old Terrence Crutcher, but little does she know that she's talking her way into the biggest mistake of her life.
I've never been so scared in my life.
Yes.
Is that true?
Yes. Just never been that scared.
She pulled the trigger and shot the man in the chest without even clarifying if he had a gun or not. All this brings one question into light. Would she get away with murdering Terrence?
And he goes to the driver's side. I've come around. And I said, stop! Stop! Stop!
This story began on September 16th, 2016, when the helicam footage at Tulsa, Oklahoma, captured Terrence Crutcher being shot down by Betty Jo Shelby. He was declared dead on the spot. As the detectives later interrogated Officer Shelby, a trail of disturbing justifications began to unfold.
Approach the intersection of 36th Street North in Lewis. There's a car in front of me, and the light is red, so I'm slowing down. I see the car in front of me go off to the left where the turn left. And what I see in front of me is this man. And he's in literally the middle of the westbound lane, and he's just standing there like this. He's not
with his
moving.
head down.
With his head down, his hands are beside, his arms are just hanging beside his legs, and he's just motionless. And so, like I said, I'm slowing down, and so as I approach, he looks up, he sees me, and he turns his body to the right. He's watching me because my car's coming up, so he's following me, and he begins walking to the north curb line of 36.
Now, let me interrupt. I'm sorry, but you're facing this way. Which
I'm
way?
facing west.
Okay, so
And he
as
is-
you're showing him,
I apologize.
which direction is he facing?
His body is facing south.
Okay.
And so my car is coming this way, from the east. And he's just motionless. He looks up, he sees my car, and he doesn't leave eye contact with my car. I thought, when I first see him, I'm like, what's up with this dude? There's something strange there. People don't just stand in the middle of the street. But as he turns to his right, he goes to the north curb line. I thought to myself, okay, he's out of the street. I've got to go back, my partner. So
Can you describe him?
He was very tall, black male, wearing a white shirt and some baggy pants. I thought that he was like maybe late 30s, early 40s. And very large. He's a very large man. I thought, oh, man, he's like 300 pounds. My visual of him was about 300 pounds. And so he walks to the curb line. He just touches the curve of the corner where 36th and Lewis meet on the northeast corner. And he then walks to westbound to the cement center median, and he just stands there and he just watches me as I pass. And so I'm like, okay, well, he's out of the way. I'm going on. But it's that giving me, I'm like, he's on something. He's not being normal.
Okay, I know that we as police officers see that look a lot. Do you have any special training that would enhance your ability to say he's on something?
I'm a DRE,
Which is
a drug recognition expert.
For those of us that don't know what that is.
I'm a drug recognition expert.
And how long have you been a drug recognition expert?
Over 2 years.
Okay, so you're certified. What does that do? What does that mean to somebody that doesn't know, like me? I don't know what that is.
I went through a total of 5 months of training, not only to identify the psychomotor aspects of someone who is impaired on drugs, their physiology, their behavior, their signs, symptoms of being intoxicated on a specific type of drug, and it could be multiple drugs. So this exam is 45 minutes to an hour long, and it includes taking blood pressure, temperature, your pulse, looking at the pupils, getting the size of those, having them do different SFSTs, and also looking at different signs that the body does. Do they sweat? What's their behavior like? Are they really fast with the way they talk, or are they sweating a lot?
So this is training you had?
Yes.
Officer Shelby attempts to justify her heinous actions by portraying Terrence as an evil, intoxicated man. However, as the interrogation deepens, the investigators uncover contradictions that cast doubts about her credibility as a responsible cop.
Yes. It's a clinical setting.
How does that relate to what you saw?
What I saw was a person who was showing the signs of someone who was on PCP. It was this zombie paranoia type of behavior. Like he was distant. And I just got that part from right there, just the way he was looking, but he was looking, oh no, he's paranoid sort of look. But that was just the initial, I hadn't made contact with him. It was just, that was my thought. Someone who's just standing in the middle of the road, behavior that's not normal.
And that's
what I see.
That is as you're driving past?
That's as I'm driving past.
And this is just all going through your mind?
Yes.
Okay. You're still intent on getting to the back of Officer Barnes?
Yes.
Okay, and one thing I find interesting that you say is that he acts as if he's on PCP. Is that documentable in your training, that that's the way they act, or is that professional opinion that you see?
It's both. It's professional opinion, because I've seen it type of behavior before in other folks when I've gone on different calls.
Okay.
It's just an erratic type of behavior, and that's one of the listed signs and symptoms is erratic behavior.
Right, so you're now past him.
I'm past him. I've gone through the intersection of 36th and Lewis, still heading westbound on 36th. I look ahead and I see the vehicles that something's not looking right, and as I approach even more, I see that there's a vehicle canted in the road and just there. I'm like, what's up with this? So I come on the radio, because this is something I can't just pass up. It's blocking the roadway. Cars can't get by. The second thing I'm thinking, why is there a vehicle in the middle of 36th Street? This is not common. I see broken down vehicles on the side of the road, but not in the middle of the road. So I'm wondering, okay, is it broken down? Is there someone hurt inside? Is there been a drive-by shooting and someone has, over in the trees in the woods or something, There's a lot of things going through my mind about what's What's with this vehicle?
Can you describe the vehicle?
It was a SUV, white. I think it was white. But it was a SUV. I know it was a SUV.
Do you notice if the car doors are open, any of them?
No, there's no car doors open.
Okay.
So I get on the radio, and I tell dispatch that they're going to have to start another backer to Adam 325 because I have an abandoned vehicle in the roadway.
Okay. And you give the tag number?
Oh, yes, I give the tag number.
Okay. What do you do? Do you turn on your lights?
I put it in position 1, which activates the little lights in the back.
Are they red and yellow, or are they?
They're red and blue.
It's been a long time. Did you put your spotlight on?
No, it wasn't dark.
Okay. So the spotlight on the side is not on and facing the car?
Correct.
Okay. All right, so you do that in position 1. Does that activate your in-car camera?
No. Okay. I'm not taking any type of enforcement action. I'm investigating something to help. There's an abandoned vehicle. So I just put it in 1.
Okay, then what do you do?
I step out of my car. I've got the door, as the door is still open, I thought, it sounds like that vehicle's running. So I shut my door and take a few steps closer. It is running. Okay, so now things are really starting to seem weird to me. So
This is the moment where a significant gap emerges in Officer Shelby's intent. It's quite baffling to understand why she would draw out a weapon while simply investigating an abandoned car or carrying out safety checks. It seems like she appears to have made little effort to follow the general protocols of a cop. As the investigators progress, her disregard for established guidelines becomes increasingly concerning.
the vehicle just more cautiously, I guess, than I normally would, because this is different than I've ever experienced before.
Do you draw your gun at that point?
No,
Okay.
no. But I stay close to the vehicle, along the side, and I'm looking to see if there's anybody inside.
Passenger side or driver's side?
I'm on the driver's side. I first look in the back passenger. On the driver's side, I look in the window. There's no one there. I can see the front passenger seat. There's no one there, so I continue to approach and I look in the driver's seat, and there's no one in the vehicle. So my immediate thought then is, okay, where's the person that this belongs to? So, so I'm here at the door, and I turn, and I'm looking. I'm also at the same time thinking I need to go around to the other side because I haven't seen what's on the passenger side. Because where I'm sitting and where I've been, I haven't seen the passenger side of the vehicle.
Okay.
So I don't know what's on the other side. So I look, I start walking, take a few steps back, I take it toward the back of the vehicle. Whenever I see the man that was just at the intersection, I now see him on the north curb line, and he's come closer to my vehicle, and we make eye contact, and so I start walking toward him, and he's making an angled across the roadway toward me. And I say, "Hey man, is this your vehicle?" And he says something, but I can't understand him. And he's still approaching. I said, "Hey man, is this your vehicle?" And he starts putting his hands in his pocket. I'm like, "Hey man, go ahead and take your hands out of your pocket, okay? Is this your vehicle?" And about this time, we're from here to maybe the door, right there, okay?
Is this behind your patrol car?
We are, yes. This is my car. We're on the driver's side rear bumper.
Okay.
He is standing right there at the rear bumper of my car.
Okay.
and I am about right here, 20 feet, maybe. He's facing me, I'm facing him. He goes to put his hands in his pocket, and he's just staring at me. And it's not an expression of wanting to, hey, get help. It's his head is tilted down, his chin is low, and he's looking upward like this. His brow, he's looking up through his brows. Okay, and he's saying something, but I can't understand him. I said, man, take your hands out of your pockets. And he goes like this. Hey, man, is this your vehicle? And he goes like this. And he puts his fingers into his pocket. I said, man, take your hands out of your pocket now. I'm starting to cover my gun at this time. And he just looks at me, and he turns to his right, where he's parallel with the bumper of my car. And at this point, I get on the radio, and I say, Adam 303, hold traffic. I've got a subject that's not complying, or he's not taking his hands out of his pockets. I said something like that. I don't remember exact words that I said. But so he's walking north parallel with the bumper of my car, and I'm in ready gun. It's meant, stop. Show me your hands. Show me your hands now. He puts both of his hands in the air, and he stops. He makes a half turn to his left. Now he's facing west at the back bumper, passenger side of my car. He's got his hands like this, and he just looks at me. And it's like this. So, man, stop right there. You stay right there.
Officer Shelby's visual explanation clearly shows that she had plenty of time to refrain from fatally shooting Terrence, but she obviously chose to give in to her impulses. What comes next is a series of alibis that weren't just irrational, but also her attempts to play down her impulsive negligence.
I'm walking my way, angling, I should say, to where the bumper of the car there, he's right here facing to the west, and I position probably right about there. And I'm thinking, I'm by myself. He is very big. His behavior is not right. Something is not right here. So, okay, he's intoxicated. He is not obeying my commands. I'm thinking he's got a weapon in his pocket, because that's my immediate thought, is he's going to his pocket. And I've told him several times, don't put your hands, or take your hands out of your pockets and show me your hands. And so I tell him, get on your knees. Get on your knees now. And he's not doing it. So, man, get on your knees. Get on your knees now. And then he just looks at his vehicle. His hands are up. And he starts taking steps to the front of my vehicle. His hand drops to his pocket. Man, get your hands up in the air. Get them up in the air. And so he gets them back up in the air, and he's at the front of my car. And I tell him, stop. And so he stops, and he still has his hands, but he's positioned his body to where he's facing his SUV, and he just stands there and he's mumbling. This whole time he's saying something, but I can't understand him because it's very, very low. And it's just unintelligible. He's not doing anything. He's not stopping. And so he's standing there. He looks at his vehicle. He looks back at me. And I can hear there's a siren coming. And so he's been looking at me. And then I could see him look beyond me.
And that he just starts walking toward his vehicle. And I said, stop! Stop right now! You need to stop! And I'm following because I don't want to lose visual on him. Because I don't know if he has a gun. I'm scared that he's got a gun in his pocket.
You're walking behind him. You see his hands up, and he is not stopping.
He is not stopping. I've told him over, stop! Stop!
Okay.
He goes on around his vehicle, and he goes to the driver's side. I've come around. He drops his arm, and he goes, and I said, stop! 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 He didn't stop. I thought he was going for a gun. And I took a target, and I shot him in the side, in the chest.
Okay. Take a minute.
I thought he was gonna kill me.
Here, Betty, come up here and let's wipe your eyes. And you can get something to drink, okay?
I've never been so scared.
Let's take a break while he's gone, okay?
Despite the evidence lying bare, Officer Shelby is not ready to acknowledge the gruesomeness of her actions. And as the detectives turn their focus on Terrence, her defense starts to break with each passing minute.
I'd like to go back to the point you see him walking towards your car, and you realize you're going to engage him again. His demeanor, is it any different than what you saw on 36th Street North as you're driving past?
No.
Do you make any, do you think, again through your DRE, or then you're in a different mode? I mean, are you saying he's still under the influence of something?
He's either under the influence of something or he's having a mental health issue.
And as you approach the left rear of his car, now just to be clear, we saw the video.
Yes.
Are you cognizant of anybody else with you?
No. I thought I was by myself.
And if you can remember, as you demonstrated here, you were saying stop.
Yes.
Are those the words you remember saying?
Yes.
As you relived it right here, was that what was happening?
Yes.
You fired one time?
Yes.
What was his reaction?
He stopped, and then he fell. He did like this, and he fell.
Okay. Question is did you have any consideration to following up with another shot?
No, because the action stopped.
Okay, so the one shot did what you meant it to do.
Correct. I only used the force that I needed to stop.
And as you explain it, you don't know that Officer Turnbow is just to your left, which would be south.
Right.
And you don't remember him, and I know you explained this, but let me ask. His statement is that he told you he has a taser, and you responded okay. You don't remember? Do you remember any of that?
No, I do not.
Okay. Do you remember looking at the backdrop?
I remember that the vehicle was there. His vehicle.
His vehicle?
There was nothing beyond where I was seeing.
Okay, so everything that you could see beyond him was not a human.
Correct.
Okay.
There were no vehicles, no people beyond.
Was your shot intentional?
Yes.
And why did you shoot?
Because I was in fear of my life. I thought he was going for a gun. He dropped his arm and he lunged inward.
And could you see that when his lunging inward broke the plane of a window?
Yes.
So his window was...
His window was down.
And you
the
knew
windows
that?
were down on the vehicle all the way around.
Okay, and you knew that prior to him getting to the window, or to the vehicle?
Yes, because I had been up there before to check for any persons in the vehicle. I didn't check it for weapons or anything like that. It was a quick, is there somebody in here? And then I turned my attention to find the owner, if I could.
When were you first cognizant that You had other officers with you.
After the man had went to the ground and there was blood coming from his side, I then took a breath and I looked to my left and there was Turnbow.
What actions did you take after that?
I looked back and I just continued to hold my position, and Turnbow said, "You need to put your gun away." I looked back at Turnbow and then I looked back at the scene ahead of me. I still had my gun drawn, and Turnbow said, "Put your gun away." And so I put my gun away. He said, "We need to go back here to the back of the car." And so he led me to the back of the car.
Okay,
of my car.
Right.
No matter how hard Officer Shelby tries to make sense of her cruelty, her disturbing intent only becomes undeniable each moment. Yet, despite the unavoidable evidence, Officer Shelby still clings to her irrational justifications, determined to counteract the reality. But now, Officer Shelby is about to make an effort to turn the case against Terrence for worse.
As you are continuing to cover the person that's down, do you say anything that you remember?
I said I shot him.
Do you have any recollection of time from the time you make contact with this individual, walking down the street where you start giving commands? Do you know how long that was until the time you took a shot?
No.
You have no concept of how long you think you were there?
Maybe 2 minutes, a minute. I've seen the call screen, and I know the time on the call screen, but I don't know how long.
Okay. That's a good answer, that's fine.
It was a very long time. It seemed forever.
As you are walking behind him, and I know you've seen it, with his hands up, what is going through, as you take action, what is going through your mind at that point?
What's going through my mind is, because I've seen him look back at me, look at the vehicle several times. He's looked at the vehicle several times like he's making a thought of what to do. So when we were back at that corner, he saw the police car, I assume, or heard the sirens. I was hearing the sirens at that point. And he looked like he was looking at a police car, or the sirens in that direction. And then his pace picks up, and I thought, because he's looking at his vehicle, crap, he's going for a gun. He's going for a gun. I know he's going for something in the car. And so that's what I was thinking as he was going there. And then he gets to the window, and he's got his hands up. He looks at me.
At that point, let me stop you right there. At that point, when he's looking back at you, what are you thinking at that point?
He's trying to get my position so that he can reach for a gun and shoot me.
And at that point, you're still not cognizant of Officer Turnbow being with
you? No.
So now you are at his left rear tail position of his vehicle. He's at the driver's side door. For ballistic cover, what is your thinking on that? Do you have any good ballistic cover at that point?
No.
And for you to get to ballistic cover, what would you have had to have done?
Go back to my vehicle and go onto the passenger side of my car to put me in the engine between him and me, and I would lose visual contact.
And that was something you were unwilling to do?
Correct. I didn't want to lose visual contact with him.
And as you're backing up with Officer Turnbow, and you get back to your police car, do you remember saying anything at all?
Yeah, I told Turnbow again, I shot him. He said, yes, I know you did. And if I'd had a gun, I would have shot him too. If I had my taser out.
Without knowing, and at that point, do you know that Officer Turnbow tased him?
No.
Do you think there was an opportunity to use a taser? Do you have a taser? Are you equipped
I
with
do
a
have a
taser?
taser.
At the opportunity that you take your shot, would it have been feasible for someone to use less lethal at that point, in your mind?
No,
And why not?
because there wasn't time to do less lethal. In my mind, he was going for a gun, and you don't tase someone that has a gun that's going to use it on you.
Officer Shelby's vivid confessions showcase her desire to abuse power. And as she talks about her so-called extensive experience in this field, this abuse on her part is about to be more persistent.
I'm good.
I have just maybe a couple of questions. How long have you been a police officer?
I've been with TPD almost 5 years.
Okay. Any law enforcement experience before that?
I was with TCSO, or Tulsa County Sheriff's Office, for 4.5.
Have you ever been in a situation or been trying to recognize behaviors of people who are carrying concealed weapons?
Yes.
Have you ever utilized that knowledge or expertise prior to September 16th, 2016?
Yes.
Have you, tell me about that just briefly.
In 2009, I was working with Tulsa County Sheriff's Office, and every year the deputies work the fair. Our job is to go up and down the Midway and to respond to any incident. So basically it's security with law enforcement action if needed. The department had received intelligence that there was going to be a retaliation for a murder that had occurred the week before of a 13-year-old boy as he got off the school bus. And so what they mean by retaliation is shootings out at the fair. And so while walking through the Midway, I observed a teenager walking different than other people had been walking in that fair. He was favoring his right side. He had this bulge in his pocket, and it kept drooping down, and he'd pull his pants up, and this started on the east side of the Midway, and I followed him to the west side of the Midway, watching his behavior. Because the partner I had somehow left me, and I was by myself, so I wasn't going to engage this guy until I had someone. And so this whole time he's checking his pocket, he's pulling his pants. I'm like, man, I know he's got a gun. So I make contact with another deputy, and I say, hey, I think that guy has a gun on him. He's well, let's do a head check. So we go up to the guy, say, hey man, can we talk to you for just a second? He's, yeah. And the deputy, and I wished I could remember his name, but I don't. He's, man, do you have anything illegal on you? Like drugs, a gun? And he just froze. And he said, I have a gun. And his hand goes inside his pocket. And I said, whoa, stop. And I grab his hand and get it behind him. And we retrieve a loaded gun from his pocket.
And are police officers trying to observe behavior like that where will someone frequently touch or put their hand near where the gun is?
Yes, to reassure that it's there or to reposition it.
Okay. When you were involved in this encounter last Friday night, how many times did the suspect start to put his hand into his pocket or near his pocket?
5-6 times.
Right. And how was he dressed, and how well could you see what maybe was inside of his pocket?
He had baggy clothes on. He had a white t-shirt that hung low, and his pants were baggy. So I couldn't see his waist. I couldn't see his pocket, if he had something in there, it would have been disguised. I mean, he had baggy clothes on.
From the time you first encountered him until the shooting, can you give us just a rough estimate of how many commands that you gave him to either stop or get on the ground?
15, 20 times.
Okay. And obviously you had a police.
As the investigators bring forward Officer Shelby's familiarity with such encounters, the brutality against Terrence only seems like an outcome of an impulsive decision. But would Terrence Crutcher get justice for such brutality from a police officer? Officer Shelby was arrested on September 23, 2016, but later she was released on $50,000 bond. On May 17, 2017, following 9 hours of deliberation, the jury absolved her of manslaughter and put Officer Shelby on unpaid leave. Later, on August 3, 2017, Officer Shelby resigned from the Tulsa Police Department. The way Officer Shelby was let off the hook with just a slap on the wrist shows that she got away with murder.
Second-degree murder?
Yes, sir.
What is that? What is that? What am I facing? What is that?
You are being arrested today, okay?
This was the moment Luis realized he was going to jail. The man sitting with a stunned look on his face is none other than 36-year-old Luis Rosas, the man accused of murder. On January 21st, 2024, 30-year-old Austin Fitzgerald went out with a woman whose name has not been revealed. It was supposed to be a fun night for them, but things quickly spiraled into a deadly confrontation.
The guy runs at me again. I told him to stop. He didn't. And I didn't know whether he was gonna stab me or hurt me or kill me. I didn't know.
By the end of the night, Austin was shot. What followed next is a suspect whose revelations would leave the detectives stunned.
I don't even know if I'm saying too much. Is this all being recorded right now?
30-year-old Austin Fitzgerald, a father to a 2-year-old son, went out with a woman in Jacksonville, Florida on January 21st, 2024. But tragedy struck when Luis also arrived at him at the bar, only to follow Austin and shoot in cold blood at the River Road residence. At 1:32 a.m., a neighbor made a 911 call and reported this incident. When the police arrived at the scene, they took Luis into custody for questioning. What follows next is a trail of countless lies that will only deepen Luis's guilt.
Well, how are you doing?
Okay, how are you holding up?
Not doing well.
Not good, yeah. I know. Is it Louis or Luis?
Luis.
Luis. Okay. Detective Hansen. Let me make sure I pronounce it right.
Yeah, I know this has been a rough night for you.
Yes.
I'm sorry that you're having to go through all this. We're going to try to make this as simple and streamless as easy as possible. Okay.
I have a few questions before you get started. I've spoken with the detective who was kind enough to bring me this blanket.
Okay.
But first of all, I'm terrified. Second of all, I feel horrible.
Of course you do.
And third of all, I don't know what is the best route for me as far as like seeking counsel or just speaking with you.
So here's
can
what
I
we
finish,
usually do.
please? At least just 1 second. I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you, but like I've been thinking about this just because like one of the witnesses, I don't know those other two men at all. One, I know my neighbor ran over. He didn't really see what happened. I don't trust anything she said. She told me she was in Palatka, staying at her aunt's house for a baby shower the next day. And these are the kind of things. So like, I don't know who you've talked to or like what they've said, or
right.
how that would go against me, and like what actually happened, and so
I get it.
What ended up happening is I went to my dad's house just to watch the Packers game. I was just chilling by myself.
Which was about, the Packers game was at like...
It ended at like 9 something or 10 something.
That was the second game, and that started at like 8.
Yeah,
8:15, I think.
Maybe around 10:45 it ended something.
So what time did you go to your dad's house?
Way before that. I went probably around like, I don't have my phone. I probably around like 6.
Okay. Where do you typically reside?
Typically, I reside either. This is going to sound funny, but usually I have a place that's in Atlantic Beach, but I kind of sublet that out to my friend.
Gotcha.
And
just like an extra source of income kind of thing.
Yeah, it's like I sublet it out to him, and I have some stuff there, and then I stay at my dad's house maybe twice a week, It depends. When my mom passed away in 2021, and since she's passed, he retired, and he's a retired physician. He's just constantly gone. He's been in Colorado for 5 weeks or something. And so I talked. I told before all this, she's like, yeah, I'm going to Palatka to stay with my aunt. And so I called her after the Packers game just to say, hey, good night. Wrote up, and the girl picks up the phone, and I'm like, who the hell is this? And I was like, because I know her aunt. I went to court. When was it? 3 days ago, because she had a no contact order put on her ex-husband.
Julia did?
No. Okay. And I went to support her there as a witness, and I met her aunt and uncle, who were, and anyways, I knew it wasn't her. I was like, who is this? And she said, I want to talk to you. We're in Riverside. I was like, Riverside. Okay, 5 points. So I go to 5 points, was not drinking, like sober, and, it's like kind of gay part of town. So I walked into, there were one or two bars, just looking for her. She's pretty outstanding. So just, I was like, just looking for her. And I went to one other one. I was like, I couldn't find her. I knew I was in the wrong area, but eventually she picked up the phone. I guess she said that her friend had her phone the whole night, and that's why she wasn't answering.
Okay.
Since the beginning, Luis has stood by his claim that he had no dark or harmful intent. However, Luis's stories come across like the confused ramblings of a nervous child. His confessions so far make it clear that he's not willing to take any accountability for what he did. Things take a turn for the worse. When the investigators look deeper, Luis is about to say something that will instantly bring the spotlight of suspicion right on himself.
And then she told me to pick her up at Burger King, which is right by
the 5 Points Burger King.
It's closer to European Street. Like I think it's
on
like
King Street. I know where it is.
You know what I'm talking about?
Kings and College.
That and so they were at those little bars that right there. She was walking by herself, got in my truck, just wasted, and I was like, "What the hell?" And in my truck driving back to San Marco, she starts talking about her second boyfriend and all this stuff, and she's sitting there like texting this guy trying to make me jealous because something happened with a girl.
About what time do you think you picked her up? Ballpark.
Midnight, maybe-ish. I'd have to see my phone.
Okay.
I'd have to be honest. I'd have to look at that.
No, that's I don't expect you to know the exact time, just so I can have a time frame.
Yeah, and so then we get back to my house, and we weren't there for very long. But I've never seen these men in my life, and I've been carrying a gun since I was 23, 24. It was licensed in Colorado. It was, they recognize that here in the state of Florida. Mm-hmm. I've been hunting my whole life. Sure. I have great gun safety, not a lunatic whatsoever. I'm saying too much. Is this all being recorded right now?
Yeah, that's all recorded in these rooms, but you're not, you're just telling us the story of what we asked.
And so then I open the front door to see what the noise is outside. These guys come booming, and this guy's big. One of the guys is big. One of the guys is smaller. They were both calling me all sorts of names and whatever, and they were leaving, and they were wasted. These guys were acting crazy. They were clearly wasted, and they were driving, and they parked right where you couldn't see where their car, like from the window, and so it was like some white SUV. I don't remember, and so I was out with them, and I'm in the car with those guys, like they're wasted, just come back inside, and the guy runs at me again, and that, I told him to stop, and he didn't, and I didn't know whether he was gonna stab me or hurt me or kill me. I didn't know, and I don't really want to say anything else, and I don't know what I'm so confused.
To the Riverside area.
I was at 5 points.
You went to the 5 Points area.
Yeah, they weren't at the 5 Points area. They were at the other area.
Yeah, King Street.
Okay.
And then that's finally when I picked up the phone, and she was like, "Come pick me up. It's freezing." And I believe she said something like, "I left because these guys are just trying to something." I was like, "What guys? Like, what are you?" You know, and that was.
Well, so back up just a little bit. Again, I'm trying to get the timeline.
Yeah.
So, from the time, what time do you think you left your house to try to meet up with her in 5 Points?
Maybe like 11:15ish, like not that late. And
so 11:15.
Maybe because it wasn't that long. I was probably walking around for like 45 minutes before I finally got a hold of her, and then she came and I picked her up, and then she came back to my house, and then it was very quickly after that those men showed up.
Okay, so you go and you pick her up.
Yeah.
And you drive straight to your house?
I drove to River Road.
But you guys didn't like stop to get food or anything on that?
No.
You drove straight to your house.
Yeah.
Has she been to that house before?
Yes.
Okay. Did you guys have any kind of conversation in the car?
Yeah, I was like, who are these guys you're talking to? You know, and she was really drunk, and she even like opened the door of my truck while it was moving at one point. And she's like, "Just drop me off," and I was like, "No, just like relax." And yeah, and then the guy kept calling her, and she was like, "I'm with him," and I think
But you had no idea who that guy was.
I had no idea who this person was.
Has she ever mentioned having this second boyfriend or anything before tonight?
Never, not once.
So this is the first you've ever heard of this dude, or anything like that?
Ever. First time I've ever seen him. First time I ever heard his name. First time I don't even remember his. It starts with a B. Something.
At this point, Luis unintentionally revealed his true colors by accusing his girlfriend of making him jealous. However, never does he mention that his girlfriend was texting Austin to get away from him. The police came to know of it from a witness who saw Luis and his girlfriend at the Dart Bar on King Street waiting for Austin. Furthermore, Luis's claim of self-defense seems utterly weak, especially since a neighbor testified that Austin was not a violent man. It's at this point when Luis is about to come up with more alibis that would shock the detectives.
And the other guy, I'd never seen either one of them in my life. When I opened the front door, I was scared to death. I thought somebody was like trying to rob my house at first, and then I realized because he was like crazy and was like trying to stop him that like that must have been who they were hanging out with, and he kept coming at me. I'm inside my dad's house. My mom passed away in like the room right next to us. I did not want to do anything, and I didn't. I did not want to do anything. And
so
I wanted them out of my house. Uber or something? Like, what is that? And then I opened the door, and these guys like burst in. And
did anybody knock or anything? Ring the doorbell?
No.
Announce themselves?
No.
Okay.
Nothing like that. I thought it was going to be like some kids running around like. I had no idea.
So they burst in. Describe burst in. What do you mean by that?
Burst in like I opened the door like the guy's like coming at me like the guy was gonna try to cause physical harm to me.
How do you know
that? That was because he said it first of all.
What did he say? I want to know genuinely. Like what did he say?
I'm gonna beat your. Or something along those lines. I don't know. I was pretty scared at the time. And then, I was like, get out of my house, get out. And I think I went out to like, I'd say sorry or something like that. But I was like making sure she wasn't getting in a car with these like impaired crazy people. And dude, yeah, I don't know.
So did she run out while they were still?
They were walking. I don't even know whose car that was. That could have been, I don't know if that's your car. I don't know whose car it was.
Were they actually in your house?
Yes.
Okay, so they walked in your house. Did she run outside before or after they got inside?
After.
Okay, so they come inside, and then she runs out. Were they still inside when she left, or were they leaving?
When she left?
Mm-hmm. When she ran out.
When she ran out? No. She ran she didn't run out. She walked.
Okay.
And they were going back to their car, and she was like saying something to them, and I was along the lines. I was like, "Please don't get in the car." And they they're both sitting there, just still being super aggro towards me, and they didn't even know who I was. Like and I think that they met that night. To be honest.
Okay.
So, and
okay. So after
I'm not gonna let somebody
Sure, that's somebody you care about. I get it.
Well, not only that, but I'm just not gonna let somebody like hurt me or you know what I mean. Like I have no idea what that guy's capable of doing. First of all, feared for my life when they first bursted through the door, and then the second time, and I don't know if my neighbor saw anything or what he did, but I know he ran over right away.
I know you did.
Yeah.
And so when he came, you said you asked not to go with them, and then which guy was it that?
I don't know. The big tall guy.
Okay, big tall guy. What did he do?
He was physically like coming at me, what word could I use to describe it? Starts with an A. I know that. Advancing.
Okay.
Aggressively advancing towards me.
Can you elaborate on aggressive? And that's important, so I can have a picture of what's happening.
The guy was gonna beat my, and he didn't have anybody holding him back this time. I'd like a lawyer, too. I'd like a lawyer.
Okay. You done talking to us without a lawyer?
I mean,
that's fine.
I don't. So I'm being dead honest with you. I just, I don't know what. That's everything that happened.
The fabricated stories told by Luis exclude several crucial pieces of information. As per the witness, Luis's girlfriend tried to lock herself in the bathroom of the bar while waiting for Austin. This is when Luis forced his way in. However, Luis shows no regard for these facts. What he confesses next is about to be a futile attempt to gain sympathy.
Okay, so here's the deal. Before we left, you did mention an attorney. Okay, so if you're willing to speak with me, then I obviously want to hear what you have to say, and I want to talk to you.
Yeah.
Right. I'm going to go over your rights again with you.
Okay.
And I need you to basically tell me that you're willing to speak with me without your attorney being present. Is that something that you want to do?
Okay. Yeah. Well, yeah. I have a few questions.
All right. Well, before we go down that road,
okay.
Again, this is to protect you, and this is to protect me. I'm going to read you your rights again.
Okay.
Okay. Same kind of thing. It's the 21st of January, 2024. It's now 12:45.
I'm so exhausted. It's hard to even think. What is the definition of self-defense?
I'm not going to sit here and go over.
I'm just saying it's
law
like
and
at risk of I'm just sitting here thinking about this. I know you guys are out there doing your job, okay? But these men who I do not know, I've never seen, came to my father's house to hurt me.
Mm-hmm.
That was why they came, and I just
How do you know that's why they came?
because that's what they're trying to beat me up.
How do you know that?
Because that's what they said they were doing. I was like, get out of my house. When I said get out of my house, they're like, they put that down. They can kick your ass. Like,
Okay, and that's what we're trying to clarify.
Yeah,
initially.
like all that kind of stuff. I don't remember everything, and this is where I just want. That's why I wanted to talk to you. Like honesty from you guys is like, is it better to like talk to a lawyer about this so that they can?
Again, we can't give you legal advice like that.
Because
I can't sway your decision one way or another.
I don't know if
I'm saying, give you your rights, and that's it, and you have to make that decision on your own. I can't give you any advice on that.
And I just have some questions as of right now. What's what's the verdict? What's going on with me? And
Right now, this is still an information gathering portion,
Okay.
right? So I've still got questions for you. I would like to gather more information from you as to ascertain what happened.
Yeah.
Now, granted, I'm an old guy now, so the whole jealousy thing is kind of gone. I don't give a shit. But I remember having that streak in me.
Mm-hmm.
And if I'm sitting there with a girl who I'd been dating for 6 months, and all of a sudden she's texting some other dude to come get her, it's going to piss me off.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what happens with what I do with that anger is, different. But it totally stands to reason that you were off. And then these guys show up at your house, and you even challenge them when you're on the phone, provide them an address, and say you have a gun or whatever. Your text about handling things, meaningful, whatever. I don't know. I can't ever think about that text, but we talked about that a minute ago. So you get the point that he's getting at.
Yes.
We understand. You're angry.
Yeah.
And then these guys show up.
Yeah. That's
Fair.
Yeah. Yeah. It was scary. It's scary. I didn't think that they were going to show up to my house, especially at that time. I did not think that was going to happen. I thought it was just water under the bridge, and
but to say that you didn't know that she was leaving with them, you and I both know that. They showed up, and once they were there, they came to get her, and you knew she was leaving with them. You did not want her to leave.
And you watched her leave with them. You watched her exit your house, walk down your driveway, and go to get in that car.
Okay.
And I'm sure that seeing that probably tore you up. It would tear me up too. I get it.
That's not what I saw. That's not what I saw happening. I saw her walking outside talking to those guys and them telling her to get into the car, but I had no idea that was really her intention, was to leave me with them. That is not.
Why would you tell her don't get in the car?
Because I heard the guy.
That was not a real fear of yours that she was going to get in the car.
That happened quickly once I heard him saying, "Get in on that side" or something. I was like, "Don't go with them," But that was, that wasn't. I did not think she was leaving with
him. How long did that interaction take?
3-4 seconds, and that's one of the reasons I walked outside, is because I was wondering what she was doing. I didn't think she was going to leave with them. I was like, is she talking to them or trying to smooth things over? What's going on? She stood out there. They waited for me to walk up to
What happened after he was shot?
I ran in, and then my neighbor came over.
Okay, so you ran inside, got your cell phone. You came back?
Yes.
Okay. And what did you do from there?
From what has been investigated, there was a verbal altercation between Austin and Luis when the former arrived at the bar. As per the police reports, this altercation eventually led to the shooting of Austin. However, during this time, police continued to suspect the woman might have been the instigator. But this was soon disproven when the detectives came to know of Luis's controlling and abusive behavior. Furthermore, Luis's self-defense claim holds no merit, as Austin did nothing to provoke him. With these lies exposed, detectives are ready to confront Luis with a shattering revelation that will further point to his guilt.
Prayed that he would be okay, and
did you call anybody else?
No, I don't believe so. I might have accident. No, I called.
We know from the witnesses that are completely independent of this whole situation that you called somebody else.
I would have to look at my phone. I would have to look at my phone for that. I'm dead serious. I went and grabbed my phone. I dialed into.
Do you have any questions for us right now?
Yeah. What's going on with what's happening?
I'm gonna come back in a few minutes and kind of go over the last little steps of this with you. I just need to honestly go confer with my supervisor and all that.
You know, I'm gonna be able to make any phone calls.
Yes. So here's the process. Obviously, we've been consulting with state attorney. It's gone up to the highest level. and you are being arrested today. Okay, I know that you have a defense of what you have, but as far as the process goes, when we go next door, you'll get booked in, and then you have access to a phone. So it may be a few hours.
What am I being arrested for?
Second-degree murder.
Second-degree murder?
Yes, sir.
And how will I make phone calls from the jail phone?
Your first phone call, if I understand correctly, is free. And do you have phone numbers, family?
I know my dad's in Colorado. I know my brother's. That's the only.
So if actually your brother was by the house, and I'll talk to him, and I got a number for your dad to give him a call.
Second-degree murder?
Yes, sir.
What is that? What is that? What am I facing? What is that?
To be honest with you, I don't know what the minimum mandatory is, but I'll tell you. I'll look into it, and I'll tell you when I get back.
Sorry. Second-degree murder?
Yep. I'll be back.
Feel like you're gonna get sick.
Thank you. Can I talk to you for a second?
Luis's confessions contain many inconsistencies, but the evidence is strong enough and shows that Luis's jealousy eventually led to this tragic event. As per the forensic report, Luis shot Austin with a .38 caliber revolver that was discovered at the River Road residence. Luis, being a self-absorbed liar, never revealed this to the police. Is Luis's crime horrific enough to keep him behind bars for a long time? Luis Rosas was indicted for second-degree murder, and his hearing was set for October 24th, 2024. However, the exact verdict has yet to be given by the jury. Luis pleaded not guilty, and he waived his right to a speedy trial. This allows his defense more time to prepare for the case. However, new video evidence and text messages have resurfaced in which Luis confesses to killing Austin. This evidence is speculated to prolong Luis's sentencing, but his final judgment still is up in the air as of the upload of this video.